Hello, everyone. You can probably hear us now. I put the sound on. You ready to begin the next episode? Go into chat here. See if there's anybody hanging out. And then Brian CP Steele's in play. What? 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 Let's see what this looks like.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we're alive.
Cool.
Howdy, hi.
The stream is alive with
Hello.
the sound of people.
Womp, womp, womp,
With
womp.
dice we will roll to frustrate Adam's game.
Oh goodness.
And
right,
we
yeah.
have Adam today
Hello everyone.
as
It
our
is I.
illustrious. Jowdrad is going to get revenge on Devin. Who Devin just went to grab some water for our lovely guests today, but Adam is going to be running the game. So while we're just getting the final bits set up here, I'll do the introduction stuff. We can hear you, but not see you. Okay, at least it's better than the other way around. Yeah, I'll just go through some stuff for you guys while we're waiting for Devin to come back down with some aqua. Here's the cloth map.
Cool, cool.
Yep.
Ooh, isn't that pretty?
Mhm.
Isn't that pretty? You can wear it like a bandana
Yeah, yeah.
or a cape.
It's my veil.
It's your
Yeah.
veil, yeah, it's your veil.
Playing the veil.
What an age! What an
Is it? You're
aging
stuck on that page, or-
aging myself, eh?
Amazing.
Oh, it takes a little
Thank
bit for it
you.
to click over. Did I not click it over? Did it click over? Oh, I paused it. I paused the video on my side
Okay.
because I don't want to waste
As long as everyone can see our wonderful faces.
I don't want to conflict the bandwidth. Yeah, so this is the the cloth map you'll get for everyone who gets the double books or forward. Yay! Thank you to Slylock, who also sucks because that's just part of our joke. And then of course we were reviewing yesterday the delicious spell book. I don't know if you guys have seen this.
No, I haven't seen this one yet.
So this is the spell book. Feel this.
Oh wow. Real iron binding.
Yes, iron binding by the same guy that made the iron bindings for the Critical Role books that they have.
Ooh.
So this is a real spell book, and inside has Imarian spells. And as I was saying, the Imarian spells is in Futhark, which is translated from an Estonian phrase, translated from an English phrase, incanting the actual spell. So if you say it in Estonian, it sounds like you're casting a spell. And the words you're casting or saying are like, bring forth the shield of mana to defend me from blah, 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 blah. It's really like cheesy fantasy level stuff.
The best,
and then
the best stuff.
the best stuff, right? The only way to do it. But the coolest part is that if you can actually translate the Futhark, you can be a real wizard, and you can decipher the scroll. Nerds, right? I love it. But there it is there. And this, of course, is the Futhark for Imaria. So I've given you the first word.
Big thanks out there to Noble Dwarf for the
Yes.
spell book.
Noble Dwarf, amazing sauce. Of course, then we've got all these delicious looking dispel dice here. There you go. We have dispel dice. These are the really expensive dice on the site, and they are expensive because they are handmade artisan dice from Dispel. If you've ever been to a Dispel website, you probably realize you need to refinance your house because you will buy more than one set, and if that's the case, it's crazy. But I have many sets now, and I'm excited. I've purchased many sets. I've got these gelatinous cube dice from
What is it?
Dispel
Dice.
that I use as the keymaster in Deadliest Dungeon. Because if you're a real D&D player, you have a different set of dice for every character.
I've got multiple dice, and I see which ones are rolling hot every time.
You're right.
Oh my goodness.
And then Devin, tell us a bit about the Imarian Knights.
Imaria Knights is a module book where there are several people that we have brought in, such as Ed Greenwood, Brian C.P. Steele, Michelle Ian Bradley, who have all, along many other people like Luke Gygax, and it's such a long list of names we can't really go over it. But it is going to be a anthology of adventures within Imaria that are written up and compiled all into one book to give you a slew of either one-shots or two-shots, or even you could find a way to kind of string these all together into one long campaign if you wanted to. And the stream we ran yesterday was sort of a sneak peek into one of the adventures which I have written to provide to the book. Today will be another of the sort, though this one wasn't written by me because I'm playing in it. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, who is this one written by?
Yours
Oh,
truly.
yours
Yes, this is
truly.
this-
Excellent.
Obviously, in its final form, this may be slightly different to what is going to be in the Imaria Knights book. However, yes, this is my inaugural module for the anthology collection.
If you guys don't like it, just let us know in the comments, and we'll just leave it on the
Yeah,
cutting
just-
floor.
We'll just
Scream at
we
me as
will-
you do.
we
We'll
will-
replace it with another one
we'll
of Brian
live stream-
CP Steele's
We'll
like
live stream
90-page
ourselves
thing that he did.
burning it, and we'll broadcast it
it's-
everywhere.
Don't hold,
The
hold on yours
combination of
there.
perks you can pay
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And
So
yes,
Adam,
actually, you can make that part of Deadliest Dungeons. He has to burn his
Every
life's
time he
work.
dies, he has to
Yeah.
burn one page of his manuscript.
you know, I'd be curious to see that if this was open like Deadliest Dungeon, and people could put bits in, which we're not doing, but if it was open like that, would Red still give you the bits, or would he load him up to kill
That's
you?
a good question.
I wonder if
He'd
it's.
probably load him up.
He'd probably load him up. Yeah, you're right.
Red enjoys chaos.
He does. Well, we'll have a chance to watch Adam get exact his revenge.
Big Red, of course, may also be one of the names adding to the list of contributors to Imaria Knights. He has sent me something.
Oh my
cool.
God, really?
Yeah. So you
Guy
know,
is-
hey, why not, right?
He's all in. He's all in. We're converting him from BattleTech over to
If
D&D.
you want to see
yes.
all the various people who are working on Imaria Knights, all the illustrious names, you can go over to Kickstarter.
All the illustrious names and Adam.
Slash projects slash the world of Imaria, and you can check out the Kickstarter there, which will give you all of those awesome names.
Yeah, we're doing great. We are what 4,000 away from the next stretch goal.
I
Uh,
think
yeah,
so. I
it's
was
a bit under
last-
4,000.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
gonna
which will
look it up.
be
I'm looking up
two
right
new
here.
subclasses: the Blood Sorcerer and the Valkyrie Fighter. And Richard could
yeah.
touch on. You've kind of experimented with I think the Valkyrie. You were some of the playtesting.
No,
there.
no. That was
Well, you were in a game with it, I think, though, right?
yeah, that
Yeah.
was Theron, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, very interesting. A lot of mobility, a lot of responsiveness to the situations. Very quick
Nice.
adjusting. It's a really nice variable class that can switch from support to damage to rescue.
I had a double moment. I had a double moment of panic. I first opened the page and looked, and saw that it was below. It was like 24,000. I was like, "Oh my God, did we lose somebody? Did we lose a bunch of people?" And then I realized, "Oh no, it's not 24. It's 124." And I was like, "Oh my God, how did we get?" And then I realized I was watching The Evil Dead 2. So yes,
Well, hey, that's great too. I mean,
I mean, Evil
Yeah.
Dead 2 is doing really well. Yeah, we're at 26,149 in Imaria. 26.
Yeah, it's 30 for the next.
We went up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
good.
20,
Yeah,
26.1.
good. All right.
clawing its way up there.
Clown its way up there. I'll go back to chat. All right. All right. So, we'll introduce ourselves. Hello.
Hello.
You're not new to Imaria.
No.
No. And who are you?
Player or character?
Player. What'd you play?
Player.
We'll do
Ah,
character
okay.
stuff. when you-
Characters in
we'll
games.
let the DM tell us.
Let
when
the
we
audience
Exactly.
know
We
who
let
you
the
are.
You're a big part of it. You've created some really cool characters in this world for us.
Yeah, I'm Nicholas. I've played Imaria now for probably 5 years, mostly
Yeah.
as a
Has
player.
it been 5 years?
Has been
Ludicrous,
5
right?
years that I started playing Imaria. Initially you as a DM, then some one-shots.
It's never been the same, right? It's never
No.
been as good since that
No.
first game.
No, it's
That's, what-
never.
that's also
never
where we
again.
met Adam. You played that warlock,
did,
that
yeah.
Diamond
Yeah,
Spell
he
warlock
joined
that
us.
Yes,
with the
that
campaign.
was
died.
that was the warlock that sacrificed himself
Yep.
to save somebody else. Yeah.
Gabriel.
Exactly.
So,
And yeah, still playing it. And these days also doing a bit of homebrewing in Imaria myself as a DM.
How dare you?
ooh, how dare you? That's amazing.
I know it's terrible.
That's
I'm really
amazing.
butchering the lore every single time when I be at the table, but yeah,
And for those of you watching, I do get a chance to go into the roundtable from time to time and watch them all playing the game. And usually it's me walking around the corner and Nicholas describing something and Richard just shaking his head.
Well, that's usually in reaction to Clover.
Which is a good segue to you. Who are you? A long timer.
Yeah, I'm Richard Durr, otherwise known as Richter Senior.
Richter! Yay! Richter's here.
I've been playing in this world even longer. I started in 2016.
Oh, that's right. You played back when we started. It was Pathfinder.
Just after.
Just after
when you
Pathfinder?
were running the two things side by each.
Oh, I see.
Because the guy, I think it's the guy that's playing, that's Enrid, was the guy with the really long hair who's doing the new one,
Yeah.
had his own group doing the Pathfinder while we were doing
Oh,
D
yeah,
and
yeah,
D.
yeah.
Because so I've been playing it quite a long time.
That's right.
I've got a great love for this, and I've had played in the campaign, and that's when I first met Helen and Nicholas. I was playing my Hashim, No, Saladin.
No, you were playing
Saladin.
Saladin.
in my game.
Yeah.
No, you were
Saladin.
playing. Yeah, you were. That's right, because he played the penitent one, didn't he?
Yes.
He came
Yeah.
in as the penitent one afterward.
Yeah. And I was like a sand sailor, Kenbian, rogue. Yeah. My favorite moment from that campaign was when we got into the argument.
Which one?
Basically,
The loudest
Steve
one.
was playing the repentant Iltherian knight.
Oh, Steven, yeah.
Yeah, and he was off doing something, and of course, you know, his son went with him. And these guys are distrusting, they're smack talking him and all that. And I started arguing with him, and I let my voice rise to the point you're like, it's okay, he's just role playing.
The entire cafe looked over because he's like, motherfucker! And I was like, oh, hold on, we're still in a public setting. He starts like, we're just playing a game, just playing a game. That was funny.
But yeah, that's me.
There we go. And we'll get into our characters in a bit. And then, of course, you were there, smack talking the Eltherian Knights.
Yeah, no trust for them. And, you know, that campaign taught me no other way to feel about them.
That's right, because
But
every time I've
really
seen you play the game, you hate those guys. Well, you and Luke Gygax have something in common. Because
Okay.
Luke loves the Eltherian Knights in the design, but he hates them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Left, right, and center. He wants them all dead.
Every single time we talk to him, he's like, "Yeah, Maria's pretty cool, though all the Eltharians need to die." Anyway, I really enjoyed the game, although I really also wanted to kill all
He
the.
wants to kill
That's
them.
constant.
And you can see it in Destiny, in Fate of Legends when he's just like, oh, kill them all, kill them all.
Yeah, reformed Altherian. Who are we fooling?
Yep. And we know you.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Adam, also known as the Beastmaster, as I collect and create wondrous little creatures and critters for the Imarian world. I'm doing the editing as well as some design work on Imaria, the Pillars of Power, and Imarian Knights.
That's right.
So-
And on Six Sides, you're quite a famous couple of
Jaudrad
characters.
Faneclad, the lupine bipedal wolfman barbarian who's having just the most wonderful time.
He loves
Everything's
his
lovely.
life.
With
And
this
before
wonderful
that-
DM over here.
Years ago, you became famous for the Hive Arc.
Yes,
Or the
the
Hive.
Hive, the Mantidaean
So
Circle
you
Spores
reprised
Druid,
on
yes.
Destiny of Worlds.
Yes, in a much more different form, having had died and got better over in the depths of the Veil itself. So if you want to go check that out on
Six Sides of Gaming.
Six
yep.
Sides of Gaming on YouTube, you can go check out those older episodes there to see some of my little guesting adventures with some of the awesome luminaries you guys have had on.
For
we
the
go.
Hive.
So let's dig in.
All right. So, to start off, we find ourselves in the continent of Tensire, a large jungle expanse of varying locales, but mostly held within, very, very good.
Ooh, how very
Visual representation.
He's like,
A torn but strong continent filled with the Nemalians, anthropomorphic people that exhibit traits of various beasts. In specific, we are near the center of Tensire itself, in a place known as the Moss Fissure Colosseum. Usually, an ancient, almost Roman-style, massive stone Colosseum that houses the Beastmaster known as Vocoraxis, a Verderar, a dinosaur person, of excessive age and strength, who is a powerful archdruid that looks after the Colosseum itself. Once every 100 years, this Colosseum houses a tournament of champions against the Beastmaster's menagerie of various creatures that he has cared for and collected over his long life. But it isn't one of those centennial years. In fact, it is quite a rather average year in Tensire, except for one particular event. It is this time, around this particular year, that the Days of Three are occurring. The 3 days where the High Council of the Tensirian Coalition come together to decide the overall governance for the rest of the year of the continent. The various tribes of Nimal, clans, peoples, organizations all send representatives to assist in the High Council and their counselors deciding on how Tensire will adopt various policies, how it runs, and how they will caretake it for the coming year. It is one day till the day of preparation, the first day of the days of 3. You have all been called here to Tensire by a representative of a group of lupines, wolf folk, known as the Therius Vigil. The Therius Vigil are seen as hunters, very expert hunters in the wilds of Tensire, but specifically hunters of curses. More specifically, curses that seem to infect various populaces. They are rooters of corruption for the sake of almost like a doctor finding ways to combat an illness. They are small in number, but very well known amongst the entirety of the Tensirian coalition itself for being very prudent and quick in their hunts and very good at cleaning up messes.
Curses like things that rhyme with ranxanthropy and flampfires and
Flamflyers?
flumps. No.
Meeting upon a forest clearing, having bartered various passage to the continent, you are escorted by a squirrely guide, a small squirrel person, about 2 feet high, with a sort of a thick sort of pompadour of hair and a small studded leather jacket, who is currently leading all of you from the local small fishing hamlet that you all found your way to, and you've been probably traveling together for the last 5 or so days as you head inland into the jungles. This squirrel's name being Perios. Perios is moving through the trees, kind of weaving between these thick, ginormous, we're talking 50, 60-foot tall trees, heavy foliage blocking the noonday sun. As Perios is moving to and fro, going,
it should just be a couple more miles this way, I believe. It's been turned around once or twice, but I'm fairly certain we will be there soon. I recognize that notch in that tree, or was it the notch on the west side? It's probably fine. It's a general easterly direction,
and keeps weaving through the underbrush. There are, in
Perhaps-
fact, heavy clouds of various
There's no
jungle
worry.
bugs.
It is good exercise to continue forward, and trekking through such terrain is unfamiliar to me, so I relish the opportunity to learn greater detail of this place.
Oh, excellent. Very good. That's probably for the best. Not that we're lost or anything, just scenic routes are always a good thing. Yes.
Perhaps if you had a higher perch, having a different vantage could afford you a better view, a better knowledge, a different outlook on the situation, as it were. And I bend over and hold out my hand, which probably looks like a crate to him.
Right. I'll just hop on here.
Yeah,
just-
and then I just bring you up, and now you're like 7 feet above the ground on my shoulder.
Okay, I will let Perios have advantage on his next survival check.
Should we
Yeah,
introduce
yeah.
who we are and stuff so we
Yeah.
know what's the
Yeah,
dynamics
so
are like?
while Perios is giving a bit of a vantaged view of places, why don't everyone kind of go around here and describe your characters here for everybody else at the table?
Of course, trudging through the swamps with hands appropriately placed behind the back and keeping an observant eye on each and every detail, but also still maintaining good footsteps to ensure that we don't stumble into some sort of marshy land or quicksand or pitfall of some sort of thing, is a hobgoblin of decent stature, about the height of your average human, with long jet black hair, with tinges of brown kind of fluctuated between, braided all the way back with beads and trinkets and bones and different types of things, kind of weighing the hair back so that it doesn't fly all over the place. A trimmed, very neatly kept goatee that runs all the way up into sideburns coming down the side, and yellow ochre eyes staring out from beneath ridged brows, and very carefully maintained eyebrows. Lockstep, Shikai of the Shikarn, hobgoblin of great military status, with a bandolier strapped to it various daggers, each of them looking to have been hand and custom made. They don't appear to be your normal types of daggers. A green sort of leather-bound shield strapped to one arm, and his other hand, and as his other hand kind of switches from behind his back to the pommel of his sword every now and again, just to kind of feel the weight and fidget and test with it. Scraps of various books, scrolls, and other types of writing implements adorn his belt, and various other pouches line everywhere. His outfit is what you would see as something that is more practical and designed to be as useful and efficient as possible rather than impressive. But he does have a metal breastplate that kind of resides over top of most of the long robe-like accoutrement.
And
Lockstep. Okay.
Lockstep.
And beside him, opposite of the rigid form, a little more relaxed, wearing plated armor that has fluting and brass trimming with intricacies engraved in that can only be of elven work. It is silver, well maintained and kept even in the humidity of Tensire, with the golden trimming and large flowing surprise blue cloaks.
Surprising exactly 0 people.
Yeah. Blue cloak with sort of a heavy weight to it, a regal material, and haphazardly on his shoulder you see a large bastard sword, a war sword, not fully flamberge, but and it is with a blade that looks like it's made entirely of amber. And so there's no metal core to it or anything. So at first glance, it looks like it could be something that could shatter upon hitting pretty much anything. And there's just a small rod of glow coming from it, a small hue from a cantrip of light that this character's cast. His eyes are, the irises on the eyes are completely whited out, but not in the sense that it's just pure white like an Aasimar. But it is more like the color is completely gone. And not gray, but brighter than that. So while it looks a little bit creepy to some, it's a bit comforting to others because it's the hallmark trait of the Zanku, which are a descendant human-like offshoot of a variety of flavors that people have seen in this world. This particular brand is of the Linvander brand, and so he has rough, unkept hair, and his demeanor is that of a calmness, a familiarity to being back here, and a bit of a nostalgia to the fact that he feels like he's been here before. And it is, of course, Loholt, if you haven't figured that out yet. For those of you who are regular watchers and those who are new, this is Loholt Linvander, and he is a character from Crimeris, a continent that is adjacent to Tensire, and that's him.
Okay.
Anybody like to go next?
Okay.
Lots of
Probably the smallest in this whole group. They see me walking around, probably only like maybe 4 or 5 feet at most. The body very different from pretty much everybody else in the group as well. It's more crystalline. It's not necessarily looks completely like flesh or fur. And as its companion known that if we actually come close to the light cantrip from Loholt, his body starts to brighten up, shed light in different kind of colors, usually very nice blue, red hue as well. He is very practically but very finely clothed. Has a beautiful black velvet cloak on. Even though underneath you can see armament, he has a breastplate, carries a shield, scimitar, and has a very air of superiority and arrogance in him. It's like, ah, these mortals, these low, short-lived creatures. What do they know? I've been there, seen it all. But he tries to be friendly with them and understanding that they just don't. No, just not as good as he is.
You just don't get it.
They don't get it. That's the problem, mortals.
Has he shared his name with us, or is
His
that too
name,
important?
well, he has shared his name with you, but none of you are able to actually understand it proper. The short name for him is
I feel
Solaris.
offended.
However, he did explain and tried to clearly explain once that his name, his real name, is the feeling and the thoughts you get when you look at a nice mirrored surface, see your reflection, and you just know you're better.
Okay, so narcissist.
And, but realizing that none of you actually would understand this feeling, just, it's you.
You just don't get it.
You just don't get it.
Okay. When you look at me, you're seeing a 2-meter, olive-skinned, bit of a giant amongst you. I am a Nerarian. My people come from an island in between Primaris and Tensir. We look very fearsome, but typically we're very philosophical and interested in nature and defending it type stuff. I didn't get along all that great with that. I am taking a different path. I'm a barbarian, and strangely enough, for a barbarian, I am also in plate mail. I am playing a specific subclass called the Path of the Dreadnought.
Oh yeah, but we should say what we're playing
yes.
for people too.
Um,
So, what are some of the features of the Path of the Dreadnought?
Path of the Dreadnought allows you to wear armor without penalty. I can still keep my faster movement even though I'm wearing heavy armor. I have one of my abilities at 6th level, which is basically turns me into Juggernaut.
Ah, yes.
Where
The
I
X-Men
just
fans
like,
out there.
yeah, where basically I can just keep going. Anybody I hit, I just push to the side. I don't take attacks of opportunity, I believe, and I am allowed once to hit an object and deal 10d10 damage to it. So like I can just blow through.
You
a
can blow through
wall.
walls.
That's awesome.
All right.
And I tend to be philosophical. And my name is Maker of Maps and Crafty Trader, Writer of Deals, Slayer of Ghouls, Holder of Secrets, and Feller of Traders. Nerarians add to their name for every extreme deed that they have done. People just call me Crafty.
Crafty.
Yes, the Duranians have long titles of names. Yes, crafty. All right, much easier for my paper. So, as you are all,
Hey.
Oh yes, of course. My apologies.
Wow.
Everyone should stake their classes, of course.
And character.
And so, also in the party is a dinosaur person.
Woo! Yay, Murderer!
Always down for more
What
dinosaurs.
kind of
So
dinosaur?
glad to see. We don't see them played as much as you think, eh?
What kind of
Uh,
dinosaur?
I am a parasaur.
What's a parasaur?
So-
I actually don't
Okay.
know what a parasaur is. Am I the only-
Bipedal, similar in body shape to a T-Rex,
Oh.
but without the huge predator mouth, more of a gentle snout. She is a herbivore. And a beautiful crest, a bony crest that arches elegantly up and backwards.
Ah, yes. Like
Behind
Pepper's
her.
Waffles. Yes.
And paleontologists think that it might have been for making noises, and they replicated one, and it sounded maybe a little bit like a wooden flute. But in my world, I imagine that it sounds like just she's got a huge didgeridoo
Yes.
on her head.
Very.
There we go.
Where is she? I can't tell. She's over there.
And yep, she's various shades of green, light green underside, darker green, and in amongst the green, there are little, almost neon green glyphs all over her body, and little, if you know Druidic, in little glyphs that mean things in Druidic that align with certain animals and elements. She's got various pouches with herbs. Strapped to her back are 2 different staffs. One of the staffs has a serpentine head, and the other one is like a gnarled willow branch. And her name is Risha. Yeah.
Risha.
So I'm a druid with the mana glyph circle.
Circle of the mana glyphs.
Yeah. So I have elemental companion.
Oh, you're a Managlyph druid.
Mm.
So you have tattoos, right?
Yeah, so sort of I'm imagining because I'm a dinosaur with scales that maybe they're almost misshapen scales,
Oh yeah.
but they actually, if you look close enough, they're
Designs.
glyphs and designs.
And they can
and-
use those glyphs to summon these elemental companions to help them in various deeds, which is
Yeah.
part of the design of the. It's one of my designs. So if you like it, tell me. If you don't, Adam did it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So you're playing. You're playing a.
I am Lockstep.
No, I know, but what is your character? Write down.
Lockstep is
Dumbass.
nothing if not direct.
I have been touched by the veil, but also carry within me a deep psionic might. I am what they call a Void Templar. And I have also been taught in the ways of the Weave Breaker.
I see. And for the people who don't know either of those terms, what does that mean?
That would mean that I can use my mind to move things such as weapons, daggers, rocks, and other such
rocks.
implements. Usually rocks.
Usually rocks.
Other such
Rocks are
implements,
plentiful here in Tennessee.
as well as improve my own accuracy of weapons and shield myself with psionic powers. And as a weave breaker, I am able to undo that which crafts mana itself, finding it very useful upon facing off against the various soldiers and enemies that I have had to fight.
B says you're a didgeridino. A didgeridino.
B.
There we go. It's a good. We have to have a pun, right? And so you're playing a.
I'm playing a sage, and specifically I'm playing a dreamwalker, so very in tune with the veil as well, drawing from it to for my magic means as well, being able to shift and manipulate, sometimes reality as well, manipulate a bit, occasionally time even, but definitely. Very in tune with the dream world.
And you really like this class because you play it a lot.
I play it a lot, and one of my favorite features, and fingers crossed it happens, I always want to die. For reasons.
Well, you want to go into death saves.
Yes, I want to go on death side. I don't want to die, but I like
yes.
to go unconscious.
Dreamwalker.
It's one of my favorite ability of this class, that you can just really go all out, and if you're knocked unconscious, you actually come back in a specific state for a short time.
I was thinking for the Keymaster to take a few levels of this, so that when he does get down, he gets back up and can kill him. It's great.
I mean,
Your epiphany is just you're immortal.
Yeah. And
I've had an epiphany. I can't die.
so we've got the Dreadnought, the Mana Glyphs, the Weave Breaker,
That's Aeon
and
System.
the
Aeon
Void
System.
Templar. We have our Aeon Sage, Dreamwalker, and
yourself.
Loholt is a Oath of the Ages Paladin, which is our time paladin. So the Oath of the Ages Paladin's Zemo is usually messing with the aura is messing with speed and causing enemies to slow down while speeding up his allies. And I'm also playing a split class with the College of Time Bard. And the College of Time Bard is our time bard, because in Imaria, one of the pillars of power is chronomancy, is time manipulation, and so we've really added that to the mix. So this side of the table is very timey-wimey. College of Time Bard messes with the initiative track and spellcasting, so we'll have some fun. And I've split one level of Sage in there, so that way Aeon Sage I'm playing but not the Dreamwalker side. I'm playing the Chronomancy side, so I can do cool effects like stop time for us all to talk and play along with that. But because we've de-leveled from 12 to 10, I don't have the aura of acceleration. So
I was wondering what
Yeah.
where you did your split. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, if I wanted to have the College of Time Bard in there and the Sage, I'd have
Yeah.
to drop the Paladin by a couple of levels. which is sad. But if you do what you do, you do what you got to do. So, so it's maybe a younger version of Lowhold playing around right now. So, all right, and those are all of our abilities and stuff on Knock. When we use them in game, we'll try to describe them as best we can for people to understand.
And it is good that you have all described such, because at this time of all having this in-depth conversation with yourselves, you see Perios go, "Wait, I found it. It's actually just over here," and proceeds to move completely to the right and pull some vines that were hanging from these several ginormous trees aside, to which there is in fact a large opening to a clearing where you can see about 500 feet in the distance just the top of the Moss Fissure Coliseum that was probably on the right-hand side for the last hour. Just kept going straight. And he went,
It's vantage points. Follow me.
and scuttles past the vines. Perios does not get but 60 feet ahead before. What is everyone's passive perception?
16.
I'm 15.
15.
15.
15.
What? We're like the most observant party ever.
Or not.
I'll take my 16 over your 15, thank you.
It's okay to try.
Lockstep, you just catch
Oh, yes.
out of the corner of your eye, up in one of the trees to your left, maybe about 20 feet away, as Perios is moving forward, you see a hunched figure sitting upon a branch with one massive hand, like grabbing the side of the bark. Humanoid in shape, but very muscular and wide, and also their shape is kind of obscured by what looks like. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Then what you see is a wolf-like form, but hunched and wearing various beads and what looks like some sort of like a battle skirt. It's kind of holding onto the tree, kind of watching as you all begin to approach, just kind of 20 feet off to the left.
With the understanding that I have been in many situations of ambushes and surprise attacks in my days, would I be able to examine this wolf being and understand whether it is merely observing us as a guardian of this place, or is intending to perhaps come down and surprise us?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
21.
21. This is not an ambush. They are in this position for a vantage point, and they seem to have a moment of recognition as they see all of you, and they're looking like they're about to start to move, but it does not look aggressive.
This is the guardian of the Colosseum.
You would say, or at least someone, as you remember, you were called here by the Colosseum, but to meet with the Therius Vigil.
Yes, so this might be one of them.
As soon as you kind of clock that, they give a sort of head tilt, almost in a with that 21, almost in a form of, you saw me, interesting, like a form of respect almost before they, and they leap, standing leap about 10 feet out of the tree, land as Perios screams, and hits the floor. It curls up with their tail in a ball, and just goes, "I have nothing to value." As all of you are startled, except for Lockstep here, as you see before you a 7-foot-tall lupine, brilliant white fur with streaks of brown that's kind of caught in these various colored beads that hang about the sort of mane. She has one entire arm is completely caught in a gauntlet van brace up into like an elbow guard that goes up into a pauldron that seems to be armored. Has a not like an Iranian style shoulder shield that you'd know it, but like a kind of a deflecting flute to the kind of boiled hardened leather that kind of comes off the shoulder, with designs of what look like various. You're not even sure if they almost look like designs, but like claw marks through it, like that have sort of marred the armor, and what looks to be tied to her back in a simple like leather holding sheath a brilliant great sword. It seems to shine in the light, like the light is catching a metal that is a bit more reflective. She seems to have various like pouches and stuff about her belt as she kind of stands up and looks over all of you and goes, "Apologies for the abrupt entering of this space, but you all look like the ones I'm waiting for. I am Raichel Grimmane of the Therius Vigil. Are you, as I have hopefully ascertained correctly, the hired help?"
I think you would hesitate to find a group consisting of our races and class mixture without assuming that it is indeed us.
I was gonna say.
Right.
Loholt looks like he normally is the one to talk. He looks like he's gonna go talk, and then he just goes. And he stops and just puts his hand like this behind him, as if he was seeing him say, "Go ahead," because he knows the lockstep's gonna go ahead. So he just does that.
As you speak, she almost like disregards you for a moment, then sort of stops, looks back, and goes, You bear the markings of a Shikai.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been to the steppes in a long time. This is probably for the best that you have a warrior of such renown amongst your midst. Completely ignoring Loholt entirely, as she does not seem to know who he is.
I
Look
am
down
pleased that my
and
reputation precedes me.
kind of looks down at Perios, who kind of finally like peeks an eye out, and she goes, You can go now. As he just it just runs off and goes, "Thank you so much for your patronage, bye!" and just runs headlong into the bushes as she like grabs the side of her snout and just shakes her head and goes,
Well, he is only 2 feet tall.
"I
Being
have
2 feet
seen
tall
much."
is a significant advantage in combat over taller foes. It is something that should be filled with pride, not cowardice.
If you have the awareness, skill, and training to back it up. Now, if you
Correct.
want to discuss this in a philosophical manner, is there some place that we could have a drink?
Why don't we retire to the Colosseum proper? We have much to discuss, and I am sure libations are being set out as we speak. She begins to move, and this massive form just begins walking with you as she
Lovely, thank you.
approaches this hundreds of foot high stone Colosseum. There is moss and vine work that sort of creeps up the sides that seems to just bind to the rock. You yourself, Risha, are quite familiar with the knowledge of the Moss Fissure Colosseum. You've definitely heard of it and are quite. I would say perhaps overwhelmed's not quite the best word, but you have a lot of emotions of being in this particular place. It is very remote in Tensire, but Archdruid Vokoraxis is a very, depending on who you ask, infamous or famous Verderar.
I've been bursting at the seams to get here for the last 5 days, and I'm like,
Um,
so relieved that squirrely finally found the way in.
As you begin to approach the massive gates, which are unlike usual, these massive gates,
Stupid
stone, massive stone doors, I should say, are wide open. You can see there are a few people starting to filter in. As Raichel Grimmane begins to speak and goes, "The Therius Vigil had been contacted by Beastmaster Vokoraxis. The Days of Three, as you are well aware for those who have any knowledge of Tensirian history, are days of forming policy for the next coming year for the whole of the coalition of this continent. The location changes year to year, and this is the first time in over 20 that it's been held in such a esoterically remote location as the Moss Fissure. Lokoraxis has been gracious in allowing us within his walls. However, with this, there comes a bit of sticky business. I, as well as many others in the Vigil, have been tracking a cursed individual for some time now. Usually, we are more quick to stamp out such curses. However, this one has become swift, very swift, difficult to pin down. We cannot quite trace it as easily as we do before. And unfortunately, we have traced it here. Now, our training allows us to find such an individual, but only when they are transformed by their more cursed nature.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on this curse?
Usually we hunt lycanthropes, those who bear
I was
the
afraid of that.
various curses that allow them to transform into the more primal side of Nemalian history. Anyone with proficiency in either Arcana, religion, or nature can give me one of those rolls and tell me what it is.
19
I don't know if you know
Arcana.
those.
Okay.
I was like,
You have nature?
Nature at
Cool.
16.
I have medicine and survival.
oh no, I don't have nature, arcana, or religion.
16 on nature.
Yes.
Um, you've heard of the concept of lycanthropy, though its name is rather misleading, as most consider it a curse that transforms you into a wolf. There are many strains of lycanthropy that can go about many different kinds of animals. Its source is largely unknown. Some say it is a curse from fiendish demonic powers. Some say it's a more primal nature of Nemalians themselves, like almost becoming more like a prehistoric version of oneself. Some say it was a curse from the elder dragons for those that did not follow in their wisdom after the Primordian ages. No one really knows. Generally speaking, it is a virulent curse that is passed by the cursed individual onto others. But that's about as far as you know. With a 19 Arcana, you know that a very similar to this. You know, there's many different potential sources, many potential animalistic forms of lycanthropy. You also know that while it is spread much like a disease, it is a curse. It is magically based. It's based in mana and almost like a acute, I don't want to say perversion of mana, but like a explosive experimentation of mana that causes a transmutative change in its host, which allows them to shape change back and forth to this form. However, you also know with a 19 that many times the problem with such a curse is unlike a druid or a powerful wizard or sorcerer casting a polymorph style spell. The curse don't always have complete control over how or when they change, and how or in what way they act while they are changed.
These cursed, are they able to be rehabilitated? Or do you just simply snuff them out?
It is always our wish to save as many as we can. We are of the more specialized in our clan. I myself am a curse render. I have the ability, though it is quite difficult to strip these curses from the afflicted in a fairly violent manner, I will add, but not a fatal one. It is not always successful, but it does bode the best chance for those that are so cursed. these proceedings are held by the various high counselors of the Tensirian High Council. We cannot allow incident to occur during the fabled days of 3. It would be a, shall we say, what's the Crimerian term? A political nightmare. And she sort of grins in this almost like, I hate politics type way, just like, ugh.
Lohawk grins as well. I too hate politics.
While I can track them in their more cursed shape-changed form, I cannot while they take a more humanoid one, which is where Vokoraxis has deigned to hire your services. I am not really a people person.
What originates?
No.
What
I
originates?
know, right?
It's such a surprise.
That from him.
What originates this curse? Is this just something that is constant? Is it an item?
It
Is
could
it-
be many things. We have, in the past, our elders have spoken of cursed objects that bestow such a malady. There's the evident, the bite of one of these afflicted can also have a chance of passing the curse onto your spirit. We have not been able to pin down what is causing this one. All we know is that usually we can quite accurately pin down a cursed lycanthrope and bring them into healing. This one is. And she almost like seems to strain on the merchant tongue common word for it before she settles on prepared is the best way I can speak. Every time we have followed tracks, caught the scent, used our otherworldly training to pin their location, we're always a day behind. At best.
And what information do you have of this particular one before they were cursed? Were they a good individual? Selfish, greedy, political?
You see,
All of those are the same thing.
roll me a roll me an insight check. Roll.
Insight?
Yeah. As she kind of takes
The
a
last
moment.
3 are the same.
25.
25.
Rolled well. And I
She immediately looks
Sorry, my sword is
pained.
active. 26.
26.
Okay.
She immediately looks pained. Not like she's withholding something per se, but almost like you'd almost tee it down as a sort of acute embarrassment. As she. We only know where they have been, not who they are. Something that has
This one is personal to
forced
you.
it's forced the elder's hand. They have sent me as a form of punishment, not as a form of glory. I have been on this track for weeks. The fact that I have not still caught them is why I am forced to attend this.
You've become
event.
complacent in your ability to find them because you are allowing your emotions to get in the way. Perhaps you could give us information on this particular person's stance within your elders so that we can understand how they operate, because that is how you find somebody. You study their personality.
She kind of grits her teeth and like stares down at you for a moment and goes, "My emotions are that I have not caught them yet, not that I know who they are. My punishment is that I need to. All I know is that they come from the side of Tensire where the Lupine and the Ursine bridge. It could be
That's good. That's a good note.
any of them."
You keep sometimes saying the individual, sometimes they. Do you suspect there are more?
Good catch.
I have only caught one sense of a curse, but I have at times sensed more than one creature. They may have an accomplice, is what I perceive. Now, who would help such a uncontrolled creature? I do not know. My fear is that perhaps they are not as wild as they may seem. One who has gained control, even for a brief moment, of such a power is a deadly individual indeed. As by this point you've gotten to the gates, you can see there are a few lupine. You see there are several squirrelli. There are vulpine, fox people, all kind of milling about and moving inside. As you are about, you're now getting into the afternoon of the day before the first of the days of 3, known as the day of preparation. For the one, should we say, Nemo adjacent of the group, Risha, you know that the day of preparation is where the coalition actually sets up the chosen location. There are meals shared, different people come together, and that is sort of the start of it, whereas the next couple days are the actual talks and the resolution. As you approach, you see that Reichel kind of gives a nod to a large ogre dressed in various wooden armor, standing at the gate with a big rock maul that he's got head down against the ground. He looks to all of you and goes, "Welcome, delegation of Lupines are already here." And Reichel goes, "Darius Vigil."
Delegation, that's a pretty big word.
Yep. It's my pride and joy. Taking up a bit of reading in my spare time.
The big word.
Darius Vigil, you say? You'll be wanting to speak to the Beastmaster. He's actually just in the center of the Colosseum guiding the setup. And you see, she goes, "Thank you." And keeps walking. She goes, "Have fun."
So much angst here.
Yeah.
As you pass by the ogre, heading through this massive stone hallway that's somewhat like 30 feet high, that goes into the main center of the sand pit of this Coliseum. You can see a stage is in the process of being set up, a simple wooden stage, everything made of different wood and stone. Tables are being set out. You can see there is work going on in the stone stands of the Colosseum. As you see amongst them all in the middle, a hunched individual in a sort of druidic robe with a frill of red feathers that seem to move as if wind is catching them in various ways. An elderly velociraptor-styled Verderar that you immediately, from the stories alone, recognize as Archdruid Vocoraxis.
Risha's
Directing with
buzzing.
his cane, going, "That should go over there. Make sure that the delegation's chairs."
Oh my God, he's so organized.
Raised to the table. You see
Calm
a
yourself, Risha. Calm yourself.
you see a Vandashel, a stone skin Zayanku, wearing sort of similar robes with a tattoo that looks over the eye of a sort of like a large snowflake over the right eye. Kind of goes, "Yes, of course, Druid, I will make it so." As he moves away, Vokaraka slowly turns and goes, "Very good. Welcome, Reichel and company." As he
He
moves
knows your
forward,
name.
as,
No, that's the lupine.
referred to the
Risha.
to the
Oh, Risha.
Risha
and Rachel.
Rachel, as he approaches, she
Rachel,
kind of- she kind of
Rachel.
bows and stands to one side and goes, "I assume that the member here of the Darius Vigil has explained the delicate situation we find ourselves in."
She has alluded to her failures. Yes, correct.
In a tongue
He
familiar.
just snaps to you with a glare.
In a tongue familiar to Vocoraxis. from the blessing he had given Loholt in an earlier age, he'll say, "It's good to see you again."
You hear Druidic being spoken from Loholt as he turns and in Druidic kind of
I do that
Yes,
that
indeed.
dog thing. I give you like the 45-degree head tilt.
The record scratch. The record scratch.
It is good to see you once again, returning one. Now, the next few days shall be very stressful upon my home. I try to keep this place remote for a reason. However, members of the Tensirian Council have been rather forward this year, and since my large venue has not ever been used for this meeting of the days of three before, and I am trying to be more present in the overall decisions of this continent, I have allowed them to host their days of three within. I want to make a decent first impression, and even with my powers, I cannot locate this potential threat. I ask of you this. Over the next few days, I need you to try and find out why this individual has come towards my walls, what their aims are, and if possible, stop them by any means. I myself will be doing my own investigations to see where this curse has come from.
Risha kneels and bows her head in front of them, and she says, "We will do our utmost, Beastmaster. We will not fail you."
Kiss ass.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Now it's good to see one of my kin above ground from Tharnandria.
Know your worth.
And she's like, "He spoke directly to me."
I'm gonna doodle on her back.
Will all be paid well for your services, as well as, if possible, I will give my word that anything you wish of Tensire, come the completion of the days of three, on the day of resolution, the third most, I will make personal request to have the coalition acquiesce. Now,
You do us a great honor. She bows again and backs up.
you do me the honor of saving my reputation and my home.
You can grant us access to the ancient depths of the ruins on the heart of this continent.
Someone's got an agenda.
Jeez.
roll of persuasion.
Wow.
Persuasion, you say?
Yes. How persuasive are
I
you?
will step forward and I say, that seems reasonable. There's a lot that's going here, and there's a lot that can be resolved by reflecting upon that object. I have proficiency, and I've just given you advantage.
Very good. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, that's not so much better. It's a 9.
9.
Wow.
He
That was
smiles.
a 2, and
He
then a
smiles and nods and goes,
We shall see, Shikai. We shall see.
The knowledge contained within the ancient ruins of Tensir perhaps could be the only thing left needed to defeat the dreaded Megmok.
The Titan of the Steppes. We are well acquainted.
and you see he holds a hand over his upper left arm. Doesn't say anything else. Kind of squeezes his upper left arm like he's scratching it. Rolls a shoulder and goes,
Take what time you need to prepare tonight. For tomorrow, the test begins.
he slams his staff and transforms into a hawk in a brilliant flash of green energy and flies up high over the Coliseum to this large box, like viewing box that he flies up into.
He
Pull!
does like dramatic.
Raichel goes,
Has he always been like
Why
that?
I'm not a people person.
He is.
Say what you want about him. He knows how to make an exit.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Now,
she passes a sword on her back and goes,
figure out what you can in the day to come. I can attempt to remove this curse. We shall fight together. My silvered sword is strong enough against most forms of lycanthropy to cut through their hide. I will also need it to perform the breaking of such a curse.
One more simple question.
Yes,
What does this individual look like?
that is the question.
Mhm.
I've never seen them. I've only ever been a day behind, but I know their scent, or at least the scent of one close. Every time I feel the curse on the wind, the moment I reach where it last could be, I lose it. It's strange. It seems to almost change with the nights. It's cold.
And
I
you
can't
know that it's
describe
here.
it.
And it is here.
From the direction that I have tracked from tracks alone, as well as my senses, there's no other location it could go to.
What kind of tracks have you been following?
That's the other thing. Mostly humanoid. We are used to tracks that change, as a shape changer is in the nature of this curse, but even in its altered form, the tracks are not deep in the murk.
But these tracks
Clawed
do.
wide.
Ah, yes.
5 claws that vary in length. No two print is the same. Unless they are moving in an erratic gait, it does not make any sense. This worries me.
I have another question beyond that. Do we have any idea for motive? Do we have any idea why they are doing what they are doing?
In my experience, most cursed with lycanthropy have a predatorial need to hunt, but they also, in some cases, have a need to spread this curse. If they are as knowledgeable as I fear, they know there is a great gathering to happen in this Colosseum. A great number of prey, a great number to spread the curse to. That is what I believe.
Given this creature seems to be eluding you and almost knowing your way of work, are you sure that nobody in your organization is helping it?
A
she
mole.
kind of tilts her head to one side and goes,
It would be the greatest dishonor on the Theris Vigil, but I can't rule it out.
Good.
Does the
That is wise.
description of the prince tingle anything in my knowledge of animals from my travels as a druid?
roll me either a nature or survival check.
Mm.
Do I have guidance with this build? Hold on.
Good.
You should.
You'd think
Yeah,
so.
You do now. Tap, tap, tap.
You
Okay.
don't. Add a d4.
Now you do.
All right.
And I'll give you. Well, you want to roll? Or you want me to roll it?
My nature is not
No.
great.
Do you want me to roll the guidance for you?
Oh yeah, go for it.
You get 4. All right.
Oh, beans. There's twos going around over here.
Look, I
Definitely
get.
stay on this
I
side of the table.
The guidance is twice what you
Yeah.
rolled.
Wait, what were the options?
Nature and
Nature
survival?
or survival?
Ah, I missed it. Actually, my survival is very good. That roll is still rubbish, but and it was 4?
4.
15?
15.
I mean, from a 2, that's
My-
pretty
that
good.
is- that's actually
I
more
was
than two.
If it was Keith, he'd be like, "Oh, I
Um,
rolled a 2. 29."
Unless something is moving very fast and grabbing at the ground as it moves, erratic footprints don't really make sense to you, especially footprints that seem to, after shifting, they don't leave much pressure in the ground. And the way Raichel described it, she said that the 5 claws they vary in length. That makes no sense to you. An animal should have a footprint. That is a footprint. Unless somebody's like covering their tracks by like just randomly going back with a
They've got
stick,
those
but
shoes.
it would take forever to do such.
Unless you
so
have magic.
unless you have some sort of magic, that's also a thing you might
wizard
think of, like
did it.
somebody can alter the footprints. But she also mentioned that it only seems to be altering the like clawed footprints, not the regular ones that are moving through the dirt, as if it doesn't strike you as someone trying to hide their tracks. The tracks are varying in length and
just
size,
wrong.
which is it's strange.
I'm going to try it on nature since she did
Yeah,
survival.
absolutely.
And 22.
22. You get a similar conclusion. What I will also tell you is that magic is a thing. Mana is a very fickle and strange thing. Tensire is rife with magic. You also catch on the 22 the fact that the normal footprints leave a regular amount of pressure in the mud. But she was saying that the clawed ones are like barely indented. Like something has become lighter. Or the weird thought you have is lighter or less solid. Like
Yeah,
there's less mass to push.
Yeah, I'm going there. It would either be entombed with the veil, in which case it is stepping in and out of the ethereal border, or it is undead, in which case it'll be much easier for me to track. Perhaps
If
this
it's
like
in the ethereal veil, I can look into it easily. That's not a problem for me.
good. Perhaps the nose of this particular lupine is looking for traditional scent or traditional physicality, not looking for undead or
It is possible.
veil.
I
Oh,
was-
she's still here.
I was
I
I'm
will
just like,
say it did not. Nothing smelled of rotting flesh or necrosis, but it was cold,
well, I have two theories.
like as if you were smelling the very concept of winter itself.
Oh,
Like
Happy
I
wedding.
can't even pin down
Beautiful smell,
how to
actually.
describe it. Like the coldest thing, but it had a aroma to it, like as if cold was a smell. I can't quite place it.
Have you ever gone up against a frost giant?
A what?
Frost giant.
I do not know these words of which you speak.
Okay.
I think you could probably figure it out by taking each
I'm
individual
assuming it is a
word.
giant that is cold. I do not know what a frost giant is.
I think you could ascertain what a frost giant is by understanding cold giant.
I've
A
never
giant-
left
A
Tenside.
giant which is cold. So you can't really say you don't know
Yes.
what a
I-
frost
I-
giant
I-
is.
Shall we
You-
draw a picture?
She pushes the finger for nose.
do you understand the concept of small? It's the opposite
She
of
turns and goes,
small. Do you understand
I'm
what
going
hot
to find
is?
my quarters. I will see you in the morning of the day of preparation.
when she
and she
leaves,
just walks away.
and when
High
when she leaves, they turn
intelligence
and say,
parties.
I got 10.
I'm not much better.
I have a 20.
One of the things I was thinking outside of yours is that when they are under the effect of this curse, they don't have a stable form. They're continually shifting. And that's the reason why you're getting these malformed paws, because it's unstable in shape. It
definitely a
can't
theory.
hold it.
So, I have a few theories. One, that this is a political sting. Whatever this person is coming to do something to prove a point to someone on the council that is a revenge plot. That's my first one. Two,
So a Scooby Doo plot.
yes, a Scooby Doo. What? No. Two, and this is a little different, as I do intrinsically trust Volcaraxis, but even he can sometimes be blind to the people around him.
Oh, Risha bristles.
That I
A
would
diggly
say,
dude
and no.
takes
What
an
I'm saying
ominous
is that
tone.
what I'm saying is I trust him, but
Ominous
sometimes people
didgeridoo.
around him can do things, like people around me can do things that I trust. And I think that maybe that we might be capturing something that is good and handing it to the evil. Do you see? So we must tread cautiously.
So you don't trust this order?
We
I
should tread
don't-
cautiously regardless of what the situation is at all times.
Have you heard of the Diamond Skull?
Of course.
Yes. None of them are loyal at any point in time to any other. They are all constantly a weave and a twist.
Although I hear that Renzo guy's pretty cool.
Well, he's pretty good. He's the only one. But the reality is that I think that most orders have some level of trust or hierarchy built in place. And if someone defects on the inside, there's a possibility that what we are hired to do, usually you hire someone from the outside if you cannot solve the problem, but also if you would like them to bring the problem to you because
Well, my
of
understanding
interpolitics.
is that this lupine that has hired us is part of a faction which its entire purpose is to catch these cursed folk and retrieve them, and yet has failed to do so at every turn, and thus has sought out others with expertises beyond their own in order to enhance their chance of victory.
My purpose
That
here
is where we come in.
is to question, as I'm not the hunter. I'm the one to question the motives. I'm just saying that I'll be vigilant on the decisions that we make along the way, because I believe that there's more than meets the eye on this one. And he sits down.
All right.
Well,
You're saying this transformer might be more than meets the
holy shit!
And we went there. We have
Yes.
gone there, and we can
Yes,
never go back.
This lycanthropic transformer is definitely more than meets the eye.
But yes, for the sake of brevity, you are all shown to your rather Spartan but decently
Serviceable.
furnished, serviceable quarters. You all complete a long rest.
Hooray.
The next morning, there is much bustle and hustle, or the other way around, in the Colosseum itself, as it is the day of preparation. There is food being served. The stage has been completely set up. Thank you. There are Nemos of all different genuses and species all over the place. There are some even of the even rarer types. You see things like lizard folk and other and even there's
Are there any Aurocars?
there are a few minotaurs.
I spit on the ground.
Oh, wow.
There is in fact also a very large like Galapagos a tortoise person.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a
Wandering around.
toucan. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
man.
There's a
That's
toucan
so
Avon.
good. A toucan Avon?
You see Avons flying in.
Shit.
This
Cast
Colosseum
nothing but
has
color spray?
this Colosseum has never been more full, apart from the
Has a
competition
30
you
in
were
their
in.
perception.
He keeps. He
I
keeps
just
on
thought on my
eating
nose.
a bowl of cereal that's multicolored
Yeah.
circles.
Jesus, he's got iron stones around the head. This is amazing. We're making
There
this character.
are, you can see also there are announcements being given for members of the delegations of various members of the coalition are beginning to come in. If everyone would like to either give me an investigation or a perception check in this crowd, this
I
throng,
feel like
if
could
you
take
will,
the
of different
investigation while
Nemos.
I take the perception.
I do the investigation.
I'll do perception because
Yeah,
investigation
I'm gonna-
doesn't do
I'm
it for
gonna
me.
Perception.
God.
Okay, not the best roll, but
Ugh.
okay.
Finally, a bad.
I'm totally
roll.
going to make this toucan Sam now. I think we call him Samuel,
Yes.
right? And he is literally just an Avon toucan. Yeah, you're right. And
I'll
he's
play-
a scout.
and
He's a
I'll-
scout.
And I'll play a tabaxi, who is of the tiger variety.
Yes. Yes. A tabaxi
And then we-
tiger.
And then we got a College of the Nightingale, who's like this old, like dwarf, who wears blue and as the captain of a ship.
And everything he eats, he crunches.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that'd be the best party ever. The Saturday morning crew, we'll call it.
Let's start over here with Solaris.
And we'll call
20
it the,
investigation.
and we'll
20
call it a
investigation.
serial because it's a show. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then someone's playing a
Brian
dance.
says-
Investigation.
Serial killers.
Serial killers. Yeah.
Serial killers.
Murder those Cheerios.
Oh, Captain Crunch. I mean,
20
the mount
to 20
always
investigation.
slashes your
You
health.
you see that of the various people who have gathered, one in particular that you are currently seeing that is drawing a large crowd is
Yeah,
a large wagon that has come in. This wagon looks to have been. You can see sort of almost like sled skis on it that have been retrofitted, and over top of them there are now like very large wagon wheels. Seems to be retrofitted over this as a beautiful wagon comes through, pulled by these massive giant goats, about the size of each one the size of a horse. 4 of them are pulling this carriage. As you see, stepping out is a massive polar bear Ursine, which, as you can see, people are announcing it, and they're saying, "Announcing now the delegation of High Councillor Fidelius Coldborn of the Ursine clans." As you see, this huge, absolutely massive polar bear Ursine with a sort of like armored coat that's walking with a large cudgel as a walking cane and kind of like waving to everyone. You see a couple of other Ursine of varying fur patterns are following. You get the sense that many are speaking about how Fenelius Coldborn is going to be bringing forward some very awkward business to this year's Days of Three, as he might have some. The rumor is there are demands that are looking to be made for reparations after attacks on his borders. Some of the border mountains of Tensire, where he hails from, attacks on the borders by some of the lupine clans that exist there. That's the pervasive rumors that you're getting, is that while Fenelius is seen as a very benevolent High Counselor and a very joyous man, when he gets down to business, he very much shows people why he is a bipedal bear man, and gets very fierce very quick.
I think there's your political motive.
Maybe.
Let's go with Lowhold.
Although I suspect he'll be getting to the bare necessities of this meeting.
Oh, Baloo.
These are very polarizing politically.
It's a very polarizing entrance, yes.
Very Baloo colored mountain.
Yes.
Up in the
Stop
mountains.
dealing
of Tensire.
psychic damage.
It's psychic damage. Everyone's thinking psychic damage. Everyone's putting the leprechauns, and we need a vampire.
Oh yes.
Yes, we have the Count Chocula.
Did anyone also roll investigation? I should say.
I mean, I did perception.
I did perception.
Oh, my perception's trash. 10.
10.
Yeah.
You
Better
do
than
see
mine.
there are a lot of
Mine-
people
Mine
here
was
at low hold, but you're not really picking up on a lot of
yeah.
23 there.
particular
23.
23 on
Perception.
perception. Okay. While low hold seems to be just sort of taking it all in, you are overhearing little bits and bobs. You hear things like,
Do you think Fenelius is actually going to bring up that nasty business? I'm not exactly sure. It is kind of a difficult thing to accuse both of the more Wolven and Ursine having altercations that could break out into something terrifying. Oh, that never happen. We have to stay strong as one Tensirian coalition. That is the only way for things to progress.
you start also hearing shouts in a language that you're picking up little bits and pieces of, as it is a dialect of Nemalian. You hear a lot of clicks and clacks as over the way you can see a massive beetle, the size of a house, sort of pale
God.
white in coloration with a sort of pronged horn, what you know as a giant armagant.
I have
Beetle.
PTSD from the arena.
You're like, you see one on top of it. There is almost like a palanquin almost that's tied to it. That's made completely of different shell work and wood that forms this very macabre-looking box on top. It has like these gossamer curtains that you swear are made of like mothwing that kind of hang off it. As you see, a delegation of Mantidaean are entering in. As you hear again, one of the druid proctors of the Colosseum calls out again. A more elven figure kind of calls out and goes, "Presenting the delegation of High Counselor, caretaker of the past, venerator of the Tree of Convergence, born of the chaotic sparks." As you see, much as you know, Mantidaean have resume-like names, not unlike the Noranians having a story to their name. You see emerging from the box on top a Mantidaean woman clad in a carapace. Her very shell is differing textures of red, blue, black, and yellow in this strange, like chaotic swirl that goes across her. She has with her a very long longbow but like a yeah, no, this-
long bow.
a long bow.
Ah!
The longest longbow you've ever seen. A longbow about we're talking about like 8 feet high, like an English longbow.
English longbow.
That
Long
she is
bow.
using
Why it's
almost
called the
like a
longbow, eh?
staff, but the bow itself
Ding.
seems to be one long piece of
Bow.
carapace, and the string
This isn't
is
a war bow.
yeah, the string looks almost like spider silk as she holds onto it. As she grips it, as she kind of like pulls herself out of the box, you watch the string kind of like crackle with sparks and licks of flame, and like the air kind of freezes a bit around it, almost like the elements seem to crackle around the bow itself as she kind of gives about her antenna go up into the back, kind of hang behind her, like trail behind her ankles. These massive antenna.
Lowell's thinking about souvenirs for Oessa. Huh, maybe we want to pick up on the way home. The duty free.
You also
the
begin to
elements.
overhear people going,
Oh, it's the caretaker. I haven't seen her, and she hasn't left the tree in many years. I wonder why she's sending herself on this journey. Usually, it's one of her den mothers. Oh, look, you have to every so many years you have to make appearances. But I wonder
Nothing good's
I wonder
coming
what business they're bringing forth. The tree has been rather unguarded.
I can't help but notice that this entire room are filled with very important political dignitaries.
Yeah, it doesn't take an intelligence to
Perhaps
10 to
there is-
realize.
Rachel, you start hearing,
Perhaps there is a reason she hasn't been seen in so many years. Ah, well, I mean, she's obviously busy.
If
yes,
you were
yes,
going to
and the
launch an
most
attack.
busy of the High Counselors all make it every single year. Why has she been absent all this time?
So Lowholt is just going to wander around the outside of the Coliseum. Just do just a basic wander. Well,
Okay.
I'll just let you know while
I
you're doing
shall
your
join
descriptions.
you, but I shall do it the opposite of your path. So we
Absolutely.
are
And
covering far more
Yeah.
ground.
This place where we are at the moment, does it look like more different types of Nimali are arriving and different kind of dignitaries might arrive?
yes, you have seen at
Okay.
least one of every kind so far,
Okay.
and there's just more.
What I want
coming.
to do then is I'm going to cast comprehend language on myself, just so that I
Okay.
can literally hear everybody else what they're saying if they talk within their own language rather than the merchant.
It's a good thing you have an intelligence of 20 to like parse
What
all
did
of
both
that.
lockstep? What did both lockstep and crafty get for their checks?
I got a 16.
16.
I didn't do well. I only got an 8.
Lockstep. I will say, you catch who have been here apparently since either last night after you went to bed or got here earlier than you woke up. You see, there are also a contingent of lupine. They don't look to be anything to do with the Therius Vigil. You see one who you have actually heard of is a very strong warrior that you have actually heard the legends of, named Gristlefang. Gristlefang is a Lycaon lupine who is this massive 8'5", built like a brick shit house, barbarian. Hair is braided all the way back. Wears like skulls of massive like gators and different things that he has killed all over him. His armor is made of bone. If it even is armor, it might just be a ceremonial thing that he doesn't really use for protection of any parts of his vitals.
Seems like a good warrior, but he's no Jowdrad Fainclad.
No Jowdrad Fainclad. Has these twin like just gnarly rusted hooked sabers that he has that is currently just kind of like pushing people aside, going,
Out of the way! Out of the way! High Counselors coming through! Make room! Make room!
and you see some of the like Volpine and Scorelia are like just from like size alone are just kind of moving aside as you see behind him a figure, white and black fur, kind of even, sort of monocle style, not monocle, like
Piznez.
pince-nez,
Pince-nez.
sitting on the edge of the nose of this about like 6.5 foot tall lupine gentleman. Kind of going through, kind of waving to everyone, and going. He goes like,
No, Grisselfang, let's not be too rough with everyone. Things haven't even begun yet. And he goes, I'm just being careful, my lord.
as he goes forward. You overhear with the 16 people mentioning that this, just from, there's no announcement that they've already been here. You hear this mentioned as Javen Proudhewer is the High Counselor of the Lupine clans. You also pick up that, a little bit of that, there's that current tension between the Lupine and the Ursine, and everyone is wondering, how the Lupine are going to
Throw down.
how the Lupine are going to respond to perhaps Fenelius Coldborn kind of accusing them of encroaching on his various clans within his lands.
So I think Lowholt and Lookstep are of the same mind, which is, wow, if you were going to attack and deal as much damage as possible, this would be the time to do it.
If there's going to be a little seed that's going to pop off, this is where.
Yeah, so I think we're going to also personally for Lookstep, politics is not really his game. He's a soldier. He is not a dignitary. Now he does have to. Has had to attend various soirees of politics and generals trying to butter up the various people who can lobby to give them more money. And he's put on a good show, but it's not really his thing. So he's going to start casing the place. I want to look for places of attack, places of ambush, defensive capabilities. I want to know where all the guards are, what kind of armaments that we're looking at. I want to know. I'm basically going to analyze this room and everybody in it and try to get an absolute, basically start mapping out every military plan that I could enact within this building. And if I were going to launch an ambush upon this entire party, how would I do that using my military tactic
We are
knowledge?
completely different people. Lowholt is meandering in an asynchronous pattern,
Okay.
saying hello to random people, and just getting a general gist, knowing that the Weave of Fate will bring him to some clue at some point, if fate were to allow it.
I find it's better to make your own fate.
Here's how this is gonna go. You give me a investigation check.
Can I have advantage because I'm a military tactician?
You know what? I will give it to you on that basis because that was an amazing description, and I'm not a sucker for a good one. Lowhold, you're talking to various people. You in your meandering. pick
Hello,
up
nice
a
to meet
lot
you.
on-
Hello. Hello.
Actually, you know what? Give me either, and you don't tell me which. You do, but give me either a persuasion or a deception check based on your demeanor as you meet these people, how you are talking with them. If you're being more, oh yes, I know this person, or very genuine.
All right, 26.
So yes.
Come on, man.
I know. You yes, you hear all of these rumors. You have heard in your asynchronous pattern. You do end up going through and meeting various people. You have the chance with that 26 and the various connections you are starting to make. I will say that you can either go and meet the Ursine delegation, the Mantidaean delegation, or the Lupine delegation, and actually have a brief audience with one of the high counselors if you wish.
I think he would deal with the Ursine,
The Ursine.
because they're the ones making claim that there's a tax.
As you approach, you see Fenelius looks to you and goes,
Ah, yes. Hello. Well, it's interesting to see a Linvander here within Penshire.
I have put.
The festivities are quite joyous, I know.
If you were a cartoon, your jaw would have been like a stare.
It's
What am I talking about?
Brian Blessed.
I
I'm Boss Nass.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
good old Brian Blessing.
I am here mainly because of my respect for Volcaraxis,
Oh, yes. Quite a host indeed.
and I believe that he is a little too kind in his awareness of those around him. So my question to you is, as you are laying claim to something that could cause quite a disturbance,
Oh, well, we must not believe everything that the various
Tribes and clans and otherwise speak. As he kind of takes you by the shoulder and kind of turns you sort of away from the general view of everyone and kind of leans down and goes,
Where did you hear that?
I don't believe in anything that I hear. I just happen to pass by your path.
Happen
and
to hear things.
Why, I will just verify that you are claiming that the Lupine are attacking your borders. Where I heard it is irrelevant.
Fair enough. You'll excuse if I watch to keep this from spreading too much across the rumor
Well, I
mill.
believe that has already failed.
I suppose if you have already heard such, I trust in the great families apart in Thalagrant and otherwise, and I know that you are a virtuous sort that I understand. Yes, I have a claim that some lupine raiders have been accosting some of the lower mountain ranges in my territory, and I wish to bring this grievance up to obviously have it be corrected in amicable matter with the rest of the coalition, that is all.
Of course. And what is resolution look like to you?
Well, a cessation of hostilities, perhaps some supplies for the coming winter, as much has been taken by the lupines. It is a. We are both a proud and strong people, and I can respect that. But what I cannot respect is the fact that they have been so brazenly pilfering across my lands. It is very unlike them. If you ask me, there was something strange going on with that Councillor Proudhewer fellow. I don't know, that Gristlefang he keeps around him, the history. If you haven't heard, Gristlefang is a well-known wannabe warlord that only ceased his days of rampaging because of a deal between the Proudhewer family and himself that he now acts as their major domo, shall we say. I fear that maybe some of his old band are listening to him on the quiet, doing raiding in his absence from his old position.
Insight?
Go right ahead.
Is this a misleading story, or is this truth that he believes? My insight would be 19.
19 does beat his 15. He does look a bit.
Candy coated?
He does look a bit nervous, and you can tell that he's candy coating a little bit of the information, but not in a way to obfuscate. He's trying to do it in a way to more.
He's being political.
He's being political. He's trying to smooth it over with you, but he truly seems to believe what he's saying. He's more trying to make the words more candied to kind of potentially just sway you to his line of thinking.
So bringing this up to the council, then.
Yes.
We'll put pressure on these lupines. And if they have ill intent to begin with, do you believe that perhaps putting public pressure will be sort of a powdered keg?
Well, it could be, but there's no other way to properly, end these hostilities without involving the rest of the coalition.
Well, have you thought about what would happen if you retaliated?
It could cause a schism. Sides would have to be drawn. And I, in my position as High Counselor over the various Ursine clans, do not think I can make such a decision without speaking to each of the various war chiefs, leaders, and various commanders of the varying clans. I only speak for the Ursine as a whole, but I do not rule them.
Are there any Ursine upon your crew that would be perhaps benefit from a war? Maybe they're provoking the lupine.
Not that I can think of. All that I can think is that Gristlefang has never been peace-minded, if you catch my drift.
I shall keep an eye on him. Thank you for your time.
Yes, and it's very good meeting you as well.
We'll talk more, but we'll
Yes.
we'll let the other guys do
Right.
stuff.
My examination of military specifications is an 18.
An 18. This is a coliseum. There are hallways inside the ring. The top is open. The jungle around is very thick, but easy to, obfuscate something. There are many different points that one could launch an attack from in here. You also note that there is a staircase around the north end of the Colosseum that goes up into what you imagine to be Vokorax's private area that has his private sort of stone viewing box. There's also stairs that go down as you inquire with Bongog, the ogre that you met before at the front, and some of the druid proctors of the Colosseum. That leads to the menagerie in the basement, as well as storage chambers and things like that. There are many rooms here, and there are many different places that someone could hide.
Do I see any holes in the? Because there are guards and elite soldiers and whatever protecting their charges? Do I see any holes in the defensive plans and stations and positions that could be exploited
There are
based on the knowledge of the points of hiding?
There are guards to everywhere. Like there are Colosseum Proctor druids that seem to be guarding everywhere, except there are people guarding the entrance to the basement. From your various talents and waiting for the right moment and gazing down, you do think that if someone happened to already be here, there's only people preventing people from going to the basement. There's not people in the basement.
I see, and I can understand that the guards are there simply because they're trying to prevent anyone in this room from going down there. They may not have been positioned there before any of this
You also
began.
see that while Volcaraxis is in fact a powerful druid, there maybe are only 8 Colosseum Proctors, apart from Bongog himself, that actually work this place. There are like other Nemalian,
yeah, but
you see
they,
that
they,
Leporine
came
Legion
with
have,
they came with the dignitaries.
they came with the dignitaries.
They
so
don't know the layout.
You seem to see that the guards have been bolstered by the Leporine Legion, like Leporine Legion, legionnaires with the bunnies with these
But they're
large
not
shields.
native to this
They're not.
building. So
they have been
they
hired
don't
to
have,
help.
That's right. They
out.
are there for numbers, not for
So the basement's being
efficiency.
guarded by them, with one druid kind of just kind of supervise, but no one is allowed in the basement but the Colosseum Proctor druids.
Oftentimes, the best way to deal with the trap oncoming is to be aware of it and allow it to spring. Those who spring traps upon others rarely expect those within the trap to work within its boundaries. Such is the place you can gain leverage against them. I'm going to examine this entrance and exit, this egress to the basement. I don't feel like I could get in there without being spotted at any
No,
point, right?
it is a single staircase, and they are stationed pretty regularly. As you approach, they don't mind you being close, but
Yeah,
they,
just if I try to make any way,
they will stop
any
you
move
from
to go
going
down there,
going
they will.
into the basement.
Right. What is? Describe to me how it is. Is it like a door? Is it like stairs leading down and then a door, and they're at the top of the stairs, or is it
There's
more
no door.
of a,
There's just stairs leading down, and then you see it about 50 feet down. It levels off, and then you kind of lose sight under the overhang of the floor. It basically just goes down to a large ring below, and you can hear various noises from below that were like there are a lot of various creatures held beneath this Colosseum.
So that's where all the creatures
That's
are.
where that's what the menagerie is.
Menagerie.
And
And
you
this is the menagerie of
and you
3
know that
days.
there are like we're not
Blah,
talking
blah,
just
blah.
beasts. There are
So sorry. There's
different
no
creatures.
doors, but like there's gates and stuff. Like it's not just open.
There's
to
not
the
just open.
menagerie.
There are large pens for the various creatures, well furnished for their needs, but there are large gated
Can
pens underneath.
I can see that from the top of the stairs. I can see the gates.
I would say you can just see from the top of the stairs. You can just see the first one on the right, and then you kind of lose sight as it goes straight.
So from my understanding, it would be you go down the stairs. And there's a long hallway or corridor, and then gates on all the sides. That would be released out.
It's more like a large donut underneath that
I
follows
see.
the.
I just
the
ate a donut.
Colosseum.
It's great.
So you can see the first one on the corner, and then it starts to curve like that, and you lose sight as you're looking.
and the
diagonally down.
gates are on the outside of the donut.
The,
versus
the outside
inside.
donut. The inside seems to have like a yeah.
the
on
inside the
outside,
arena?
The inside is underneath the arena.
I see. Okay.
Interesting.
Is it
Okay.
possible at all to get any kind of sense if these creatures are somehow ill at ease because of something else being down there that is not necessary?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean,
That's
Probably not, but
my general take on this is open gates,
and just see.
chaos, and victory for someone trying to create political unrest. And then I would imagine there would be a frame job behind that, because you're going to assume with this many guards, this much firepower in this room, they're going to likely be able to, especially with Volcaraxis, they're going to defeat the beasts. I don't think the plot is to release the beasts and assassinate or kill anyone. I think the plot is to release the beasts
As a
and
distraction.
pin it on somebody else.
Or use it as a distraction to
Or-
kill something.
or all
so
three.
Whoever.
Or
all
you know
three.
what?
Mm.
If someone they don't want, if someone perishes that they would like to perish, great. If it gets framed, great.
I don't
If
think
it's
they're
also
trying
a
to perish
distraction,
anything.
great.
I don't think they're trying to perish anything. I think
Well, I think that would be a plus in the side effect.
these beasts bite.
They would do lots of things.
So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
they're all infected. You release them into the wild. The fight breaks out. People get hurt.
I
Easiest
see.
way to spread.
I would say that's just. I would say there are 4 benefits to this sort of attack, and that could be the primary.
Maybe
Or
not to kill, but to spread the lycanthropy.
yeah,
If it, I'm speaking ignorantly, both as
Sure.
a player, because I don't know how lycanthropy actually works in D&D. I purposely keep myself stupid to this kind of stuff so that I don't just know everything.
As you were all doing your investigation across, and yes, you probably could if you had a way to speak to the animals, that might be a way. Across
so
We might have a digitally
I know
dino.
we may have a way to do that.
We may have to
Just
do
as a
that.
quick thing.
Yes.
You said I can see the
Think
gates.
to prepare
Yeah.
that.
Can I see how the gates are locked?
They're locked via a what looks
I
like
love
I've got
Thumb
charm
up
monster.
and
Is it like a
It's a key.
lever mechanism, or is it an actual
This is the
padlock
first of
system?
3 days.
There
You
is an
can-
actual
can
key
True.
for
prep it for
these
tomorrow.
iron gates.
Okay.
She's in a
There's a
place
keyhole
full of
built into the
animals.
door.
She's-
Right. So one would assume that the way these doors function is you would put the key, turn, that would unlock the gate, and then you would have to manually lift the gates? Or is there like
From
a
your
mechanism?
angle, you can't you can see the doorway, but you can't see if there's perhaps a lever to open it. It's just from the angles because you're looking down, and then it's off out of
Yeah.
view
And there's no way to know if the gate is locked.
entirely. No, unless you were right up against.
How far away is the gate?
From you, about 55 feet.
That's pretty far.
It's 50 feet down, and it's just a little bit.
That's pretty far. Okay.
What are you doing this whole time?
With my role, I am just going, wow.
You're drinking
Cool.
a lot.
No. For a change, I'm.
Do they have,
I'm
like-
gonna be sober.
Are there like are there,
It's
are there
I
like
can change
little,
that if you
uh,
want.
Are there like
Later.
little nibbles and drinks and things kind of around?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
On the day of preparation, no actual business is happening. It's a lot of people saying hi after a year
It's
and
networking
eating.
event.
networking and schmoozing.
Networking and schmoozing. Tomorrow would be the day of deliberation, which is where they actually meet, and then the day of resolution is where they announce their final verdict for the year.
I mean, look,
It-
there's no way that some political decisions are not happening right now among the
Oh,
schmoozing.
absolutely.
How
It's-
much did you peel off to do your investigations individually?
Oh, we're completely separate.
yeah.
Loho will
we
find his way
we
back
deliberately
to the party.
we deliberately split out so that we could cover more ground.
Yeah.
But then also tried to leave the rest of us behind, or was like when you left, we were like,
I mean,
don't
I would be
follow me.
I'd be keeping an eye on you, but I'm not going to stop you from following me. It
Yeah,
doesn't-
no.
I don't need to be by myself to do this. It's just a thing that
Yeah,
want
I
to
figured
do.
you guys were doing something inside the Coliseum, and I'm just wandering the. I was originally going to wander the perimeter to just see if there's any sort of bombardment coming.
I was
Um,
basically staying behind because it sounded like you two guys were going outside, and I felt somebody needed to stay inside and see what was.
I figured if we all split up and looked around, we'd all find clues, right?
Yeah.
If we all do something, target a different area of the
I
Coliseum.
will
Now-
I
get
will say,
clues.
as you were all looking through this, the one thing that you are all noticing as the day is going on, just as from a time frame point, is that you are hearing a lot less rumors as the day goes on about political stuff, but you also start hearing that several people are feeling strange in the sense that they didn't sleep well. Several.
Well, there's
from-
an interesting fact.
from all, and you're
Sounds
only,
like
you're only
something the
hearing this-
Dreamwalker should look into.
you're only hearing this as the day goes on. It's just like some people are just saying like, oh, I know, maybe it's just this Coliseum, like the stone beds, and everyone's like, no, I feel stone beds. There's mattresses, but
Stone beds.
I you know they're feeling from all different kinds of Nemos. They're just not feeling well. Like a good you hear a good
Well,
8, 10.
this sounds like
people-
your
different
domain.
people.
I mean,
friend.
I don't know about you, but I think in this office alone, in this building, I think about every 5 minutes someone says, you know what, I really didn't sleep very well last night.
Yeah, what are we at?
It
Six
is
sides
yeah,
of
what
the
is
wheel?
it?
It is a very interesting thing that you're going over, including you also hear Gristlefang grumble out that he is sick and tired of being here and feels just
How many
cramped and tired.
how many leporine guards are protecting the entrance and exit into the
Two.
basement? Just
Potty
two,
break.
One on either side.
But yeah, that is the current thing that you have. We can either fast forward to the night of this first day, the next morning. Is there anything you guys would like to do come nightfall?
Actually, while this is still going on, is there a bunch of servitors going through with nibbles and
There seems to be there's more of like tables set out with it. There's not like butlers, so to speak, or servants of any kind.
Yeah.
It's just more of like take what you can type deal. There's just piled different fruits and meats and vegetables of all different kinds on various tables in the center of the Colosseum pit.
Okay.
Is it possible, or would I be able to somehow figure out that the people that are complaining around this sleeping issue, if they
We didn't have
have
any
all
trouble.
been sleeping in a specific
You didn't know.
area of the Colosseum, or if it's all spread out throughout the Colosseum?
They seem to be spread out throughout the Colosseum, but they're all people. The general gist of what you're getting is they're all people who got here yesterday.
Like us.
Go ahead and roll me a Arcana check, and I will give you advantage on this because you are specifically a Dreamwalker.
Circumstantial advantage.
Circumstantial advantage.
My background is dream
Circumstances.
I've been created in the
That is that is I think something a lot of DMs could benefit from. Is circumstantial
That
uh,
is
advantage.
23.
23.
It's a
Oh,
nice.
nice.
It's a nice
DC was
thing.
20.
Of course you're going to be good at this.
You're getting a weird sense that there's something affecting people's sleep here, but in a way that is strange to you. People complaining about not sleeping well, that's not really a thing, but now that you kind of focus in on it, there is a general sense, now that you've been here for like a full 24 hours, like there's something in the air that is otherworldly, ethereal, something is drawing away energy and replacing it with this sort of apprehensive feeling, almost like the moment before fear, that like anticipatory panic before knowing what you're frightened of. You're starting to feel that, and you can almost what I will say is, as you have this feeling and as you're kind of going like, this isn't right, these people, something's wrong with them, the moment you have that realization, you get a cold shiver down the back of your spine.
Like someone walking across your grave.
Like someone walking across your grave, and you almost feel like you're being watched, but not physically. Like it's almost like someone is watching your soul for a second, and then
So I peek into the ethereal plane when I feel that.
oh shit, right.
I-
You can see the.
I
you can see
see constantly within the ethereal
oh,
plane.
okay, this is different then. Oh dear.
On a constant basis, I see an ethereal plane.
Okay, you feel that, and you kind of look over your shoulder, and the best way I can describe this is beneath you, to the diagonal, like into the floor, to the diagonal back of you, if you're out in like the sand pit,
Yeah.
you look and you see a figure, but you have to blink because you see a shape, but the shape is not one shape, it's multiple shapes, but they're wide, like 30 feet wide, this muddled shape, and in the center, without like no eyes, but you see a face that looks like if somebody took like a long snouted face and that was like made of clay and then cut at a 45-degree angle, a perfect flat plane across the face, and then across it you see these swirling cogs of like energy that are swirling almost like a stylized clock that keep turning in different directions, and the clock face kind of stares at you and it glows and you blink and it's gone. At the same time, you kind of look and you see as checking here, Javen. Sorry, I thought it was Jaden. Javen Proud here was kind of like talking with someone and kind of like scratches his shoulder for a moment, and you kind of look at him. You look, and you see Gristlefang is just staring at you, just staring at you like daggers, and you don't meet his gaze as he's kind of just following you, like hand now like touching his right side as he just kind of snarls. Doesn't do anything, but like for some reason just decided to stare right at you in that moment.
I give a wink.
Is
Just
it
kind of-
a playful wink, or is it a like
It's more like a.
You see, as you do that, he kind of like takes Javen by the shoulder, kind of whispers something to him. They're like 40 feet away, and then him and Javen kind of walk off.
Can
to
I
the
read
side
lips?
as he doesn't take his eyes off of you until he's like
No.
behind the stage, and then goes with Javen walking.
Excellent.
Uh,
Would I
to-
know where his
to
quarters are?
Okay.
I will
Cider?
look at it.
No thanks.
Asking about
Yeah.
the Coliseum proctors. Currently, they'd be the ones that know. They're also saying that they haven't seen Vokoraxis in a while. They think he's either out doing prep in the area, or perhaps he's tending to some of the menagerie. But as far as they're concerned, the Lupine delegation would stay in one of the northernmost chambers.
To catch you up, he looked into the ethereal plane and saw stuff.
Yes.
Something
Oh, no.
massive,
Totally
something
run of the mill
massive with
stuff,
a
as you'd expect.
undulating clock face looking back at him. And the moment like they had an understanding that they're looking at each other, it went and disappeared. And then Gristlefang was just staring daggers at him from across the sandpit.
A clock
Can I see if
face.
I picked up on this?
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead
Perception,
and
right?
he
roll
can't,
perception.
he can't keep track of them because he's dipping in because he's
Well,
Yeah.
what you were saying earlier.
a
Yeah.
chronomancy
Only 10.
werewolf.
Only 10. You track that Gristlefang looked at Solaris and then kind of took Javen by the shoulder, whispered something to him like it was like 40 feet away, and then they sort of walked behind the stage and like
Yeah.
just started walking to the northern side of the Coliseum.
Yeah. Basically, my wink was like, I wanted to know that I know that he was looking at me like that.
As you saw that thing, though, go ahead and make me a
Wisdom
uh,
saving throw?
yeah, I was supposed to say, go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Not give ideas, but that's one of my really good ones.
12. You do not have the frightened condition, but what I will say is for the rest of the evening, like even up until you go to sleep, you have this like heart caught in your throat sense of something is just staring at you, and now every time you look now, it is making very sure that even with your vision to the ethereal plane, you can't see it, but you know
It's there.
something is looking at you just outside of your vision, and it's like making you have like this anticipatory like raise.
Oh, it's
of
like those.
temperature,
It's like those peripheral demons.
yeah.
Where you can just see something on the periphery of
Peripheral.
your eye, but every time you
Yeah,
look, it's
basi-
always not there.
Basically, it's trying to put you in a state of
You all come back. Yeah, a state of unease. You all kind of come back
Yeah.
together. It's now early evening. What would you guys like to do?
I think we probably spill all our guts.
I was going to say, I was assuming
Oh,
we all kind of.
I've discovered that the bears are fairly innocent, but at least at the moment they're making their claim toward these lupine assaultants that are attacking their place. He has a suspect that Gristlefang has some agenda hidden.
That would not necessarily come as a total surprise.
it's
There is
easy
some kind
to
of presence in the ethereal plane, I noticed. It noticed me as well, unfortunately. But when I did, Gristlebane somehow picked up on that one. And he was not looking very happy that I noticed it.
That room is of a problematic construction when it comes to defenses. There are many ways of ingress and egress that are not guarded nor defended properly. And I do believe that if someone were to unleash some sort of plan, it would likely involve the creatures that are held beneath the Colosseum. There is a direct path from that storage area into that room. Now, do we know if that room is generally the room where all of the stuff is going to be happening regularly?
Which
Like out of the 3 days, when everybody meets up, is it generally going to be in that same room each time, or is it going to be a different?
where the stage is just the outer sand pit, like to the open air. That's where all of the major things are going to be taking place in the center of the Colosseum.
So there
The
is
inner
the
rooms are
dir-
more for people to sleep.
So there is going to be a direct line from all the important people down the steps to the
That's
menagerie.
right. That's mainly what I was going for. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I was just making sure
Yeah.
that wasn't just that one day that we were there.
And we're all together. Where are we? Are we sitting at the big feast hall, or where are we?
Well, you be in the outer the inside the ring of the Colosseum on the main floor where there's the various like rooms.
And we can
dotted
see
the edge.
everybody else.
Yeah, there's some people milling around. You can also see one of the that Vandershelfer before with the snowflake tattoo, one of the Colosseum proctors. Is kind of sitting about like having a
Crumpet.
a small biscuit, kind
scone.
of looking about.
Scone.
Kind of sees all of you, gives a
Saying
bow.
scone.
Could I ask one of these
A donut.
druids, proctors there, what their, in a way, locking mechanisms or something for the creatures are? I want to approach it in a more like, I'm just, looking to learn.
Out of
It's just
interest.
really something that always intrigued
If
me.
you are worried about security,
I am quite frightened, and I try to come across as a...
the various enclosures are all with very complex keys. They are reinforced with enchantments to keep the borders quite strong. Also, all of the creatures are. We have a rapport with each of them, so we can calm them by speaking with them. There's nothing to worry about the safety of the creatures and yourself.
What about temporal measures?
Temporal magics, as
Do you
it's
have
portrayed-
defenses against dimension hopping and temporal measures? Magic isn't the only thing that can keep things at
And
bay.
lesser reversals on the gates.
Yes.
Well, it would be, I suppose, possible to
Aha!
teleport inside one of the enclosures, but I would not recommend it for anyone, even for nefarious purpose.
Vokoraxis is the current overseer of the menagerie, yes?
Yes, we have not seen him in quite some time, though. He should be back soon to prepare.
I have
for
great interest in
second day.
reviewing the creatures kept within here. As you know, the Shikarn steppes are filled with great hunters of many beasts.
Yes.
I was wondering if I could speak with the caretaker of the beasts and share knowledge and patrol and view the many myriad of creatures.
During such an event, it is difficult for us as we are stretched very thin. The caretaker would be the Archdruid himself. However, as I've said, he should be back any time now, but we haven't
Perhaps
seen him
I
in a while.
could investigate these creatures of my own volition if the defensive measures you stated are indeed as powerful as you say. They
Where
should
was
be.
the last time he was seen? She
Yeah,
literally
about,
pushes you out of the way.
He kind of looks at you and goes, but perhaps it was about midday that he flew off in the form of a.
Yeah, we were all there.
Well, actually, no. That
No,
was
that's
when you
right.
first arrived. No, today he said he had to check on something in the Great Below, but I'm fairly certain that some of the other proctors, and he kind of calls over and goes, Shalene, have you seen Vokoraxis? And she kind of looks and goes, I'm sorry, I've been attending to both the Lupine and the Volpine delegations for the last many hours. I thought he had returned from the Great Below. And he goes,
That's not
disconcerting.
good.
Mm.
You told us about your issues with Gristlefang, right?
Yes, I did.
Want to go have a little fun?
I think so.
You see, as soon as you mention Gristlefang, you see this proctor kind of go, and just exhales and goes, has he been causing more issues? I am sorry if
No.
this is the case. Yes.
Not yet. Would you like to have a little fun?
How far is the Great Below?
The Great Below is the private Renica chambers of Vokoraxis. Only he is permitted to enter, and only he has the means. That is even further below the menagerie itself. He's in no danger there. It is completely the Renica and himself speak to each other in a way. They have an understanding.
Does the Renica affect things on the ethereal plane?
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah,
Do you think something has gone amiss?
Of course not. I mean, we are in safe hands, obviously.
Absolutely.
speaking of which, would I then be able to investigate the menagerie? I am
Roll me
very
persuasion
curious.
check.
Yeah,
You
okay.
see, this guy's been worn down
Yeah, I
from
know.
taking care of all the
That's,
delegations all day. He's just like,
That's a nat 20.
Nat
Ah.
he looks to you and goes, I'm not. And you see the other one, Shalene, kind of walks up and goes, Velbast, they were summoned here by the Beastmaster. Maybe they
I
can.
place it on my honor as a Shikai that nothing will happen untoward.
See the elven woman kind of goes, and you see the Vanishell just. Okay, but if anybody asks, I
Of
did not.
course. You are an upstandard and very accommodating person among Boko Raxus. Oh,
You
it's
see,
not really a
Shalene looks to
host, is
him,
he?
Well,
and
he's
as
hosting
you
down
as you
there.
kind of look at the stairs going down, Shalene kind of looks to him and goes, "Now, can you help me in the kitchens? I have to get wooden trays and plates." He goes, "What do you mean wooden trays for what?" She goes, "There's something about apparently the lupine want to be rustic and don't like the silverware." And begin
Do
wandering
you
off.
need somebody
I-
to help bring
Wait a
items
minute.
You,
stuff to
you,
the lupine?
Solaris.
Yes.
Perhaps you would care to join me down with the menagerie. I would. It would be of great interest to me to speak to someone who understands the vocabulary of high intellect.
It would be my pleasure to help those that are not as gifted as I am.
You can
I
hear
roll
the
my
proper-
I
eyes.
mean, by like 4, but it's still.
Four is more than I need.
Those of you with at least 14 passive perception hear Shalene and Velbas grumbling back and forth about
Right.
how the lupines want
Here's
wooden cutlery and plates for some reason, and
here's what
Fang's
we're
being a
going
pain.
to do. You and me shall venture down into the menagerie, and we shall use our senses to see what is going on and if there is anything amiss.
Has
While
nobody
we're-
picked up on that clue?
The
While we're
silver.
doing that,
Mm.
perhaps
You
The
picked
what?
up on that clue?
Yeah. I
While
was
we're
about
doing
to
that,
say.
perhaps the rest of you could investigate what's going on with this lupine. It would likely even be better for you to do so without Solaris present, and seeing as how this Gristlefang will probably not acquiesce to anything you request while he is present.
Okay.
Could I grab the elbow before he walks off the proctor and
You're going to split the party.
if if the
That's the
way
best
to
way.
the below thing is through the menagerie? He said it's under the menagerie. Do you get there through the menagerie?
To be perfectly honest with you, it is in the center column. There is a way down, but only Vokoraxis knows the exact place. I wish I could be of more help, but I am not allowed into the Ranica deposit underneath for
Okay.
obvious reasons of privacy for his.
Naturally.
That room alone is
Why-
worth like 200,000
Now that's
gold.
silverware.
I'm going to the menagerie with
What-
you two then.
How pure is the silverware?
I mean, it is made of.
Pure silver?
100% sterling.
And the lupines want rustic wood.
Uh-huh.
Not
Why do
suspicious
all
at
my
all, right?
characters have an incredible
been-
tell?
Look,
Loho wants to just go
some
over
of the
and zone of truth
more
Gristlefang.
ancient of the clans believe in the superstitions of do not use the metal of the moon, do not eat with naught but your claws that were given, do not
Okay.
fight
Uh-huh,
without the teeth
uh-huh.
you were given. Gristlefang
Convenient.
seems like a traditionalist, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Very-
Loho stands up. His chair just slides back, and he's like, "Oy." And he walks over to Gristlefang.
All right, so
Oh,
Yes.
geez,
you and
I'm
me, so
back.
We are
so
going down.
me and
That's why I
Solaris are
said
going to
you
go
wanna
down.
have some
She's
fun.
coming.
Yeah.
You're coming with us?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay, so then
that's the way to the
Okay, so
And
below.
you and your
splitting the party,
bodyguard
We are
will-
splitting the party. And
Okay.
also,
Don't
According
don't
to the
engage
sacred
until
traditions,
we're
the
back.
party is
Oh,
split and vulnerable.
You know what Loho's doing.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
when we are getting down, I'm, besides, of course, keep looking in the ethereal plane, I'm also going to cast see invisibility for the next hour.
As you cast see invisibility,
Oh.
and you get down here, so your attention kind of looks out. You see the different pens on the sides. You also see invisible to everyone but you, so to speak. You see little motes of light in the air, but they're this dull indigo coloration, almost ultraviolet, and they are flickering. And as you approach them, they seem to swirl towards you and take strange shape and then move away. And they seem to trail off around the corner and hug the left, like the inner pillar of this under donut, sort of hug it. And as you look at them, that apprehensive feeling just feels worse as you look at these little motes. Give me an Arcana check.
I would also like to, as we descend into the menagerie, sort of stand upright, close my eyes, and magic sense.
Magic sense. You do sense magic all
I mean, that
around
is what
you
it
down
does.
here. You sense magic all around
Around
you down
every
here, but
cage.
it is a
Does.
it is a sourceless, schoolless magic, but just makes you feel cold, like in your soul, not in your literal flesh temperature. You just go.
I'm
You see your
also
breath like exit your mouth for a moment.
I also want to verify that they explained the rewards on the various gates and such. I'm also looking to make sure those are still there.
They are still there. You sense a lot of transmutation and abjuration from the bars themselves and the overall structure. You also notice that none of the beasts are within eye line. Like you see like rough shapes in there, but they're up against the like backed against the walls almost. They're
Okay.
not up against the bars, not even like halfway in the pen. They are as far back as possible.
There is some sort of magic here.
Oh, most
Does your sight
definitely.
give you any additional insight?
There are some other invisible, well, to me, they're of course purely visible because of my higher intellect, but there are other creatures around here.
No, I can't.
19 Arcana.
I
Sorry.
I can't
19.
see I can't see anything that he's pointing out, which would imply to me that they're not like wreathed in some sort of magic. This is
No,
more-
but with a 19 Arcana, you immediately get a terrible premonition go down your spine as you stare at these things. It's almost as you like stare at them, they form almost like grasping hands that as just as they reach out, they move, and you feel the power of the nightmare, Nimbaros, the realm of Tarostri, the darker half of nightmares of the Veil. You feel a familiarity, and as you look, you see these things as you're walking. These motes of light all flicker at one point, almost reacting to you coming to a conclusion, and you hear inside your head a deep noise. You can see on the wall as they were flying out of in the center pillar, there is a archway that's just open in the sort of inner pillar that doesn't look like it's asynchronous with everything else. It doesn't look like it should be there. And you can see stairs leading down, and the walls begin to form slight slivers of strange, like little slivers of lazulite mineral, kind of like in pieces of the wall, and it seems to lead down. And the closer you get, the colder you feel, as you feel like the influence of the nightmare is coming from out of this archway in the pillar.
I'm pointing at that pillar and say there is a passage, an archway going down. They don't see it, I presume? Or not? I'm just curious. Trying to figure out if they can see it or not.
You can see it. You look, and you just see a wall. It seems to be. It's not in the ethereal. It is, however, invisible, and you can see.
Because you can't see
You
invisibility.
can see the archway. You can see the things
Smart.
floating out of it. But as soon as you recognize those little bobbles, they like
Okay.
flew down the stairs at speed, and you feel this. You heard that like deep
Yes.
rumbling. It sounded almost like an alligator, but like the loudest gurgle you've ever heard, and it reverberates in like your chest.
Dormammu,
I just
come
going
to
to say,
bargain.
keep watching me, see where I go, and I'm going to step through the archway.
When
You
he
step-
says that, two of my little glyphs spark for a moment, and a little poison dart frog and a little tiny triceratops appear and begin to float around me.
Tiny Triceratops.
As you walk through, you watch him walk straight through a wall. And you are on the other side. As soon as you cross the threshold, it is freezing in here. But with your training as an Aeon Sage, you know that there is a immense pressure of the nightmare down these stairs, and they just go straight down. And from here, as soon as you cross this threshold, you also begin to hear
And when I look,
like a sound of distant combat, as if sound just didn't come out of the
Right.
doorway. And the moment you step through, you can hear it clear as day. You should have been able to hear it in the hallway.
but when I look back, do I still see them?
Yep.
Okay.
What if
my arm
everything
out
okay?
and just...
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if we were to move and like touch against the?
Your hand just goes through.
Oh well, very well. It's just an
You
illusion.
also pick up as you move through. There is a space where you can see there is like a sliding stone door, but it has receded.
I
So
see.
not only was it invisible, it was a door,
And,
That was
but
a wall
So it
that
but
would-
also,
it would have felt
also
like
the
a wall.
illusion of a
Okay.
door.
If you figured it out,
It seems to be
Poker
blocking
Axis is
sound.
fighting something.
No,
down
I
there.
got it. Yeah.
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 But we don't yet
You-
know.
I walk over to Crystal
Oh,
Fang.
before this happens,
Mhm.
I grab a silver knife and I slip it.
Into
my
Silver
pocket.
butter knife in the pocket.
Yeah.
You find Gristlefang is leaned up outside this door to what could probably be the Lupine delegation room. As you approach, he just kind of gets up and goes,
What?
I'm simply coming to have a quick conversation with your delegation.
High Counselor Proudhew is indisposed at the moment.
Forgive me if I do not believe you. This is an urgent matter.
steps in front of the door, and like just stares down and goes,
I dictate what's urgent with my counselor.
Well,
What is it?
are you always this diplomatic?
I
If you're
sleep in a while, and everything to do with this place reminds me of things I could have conquered when I still could. So forgive me if I'm a little
So-
bristly.
so you've got a case of
the Mondays.
he. Okay, make an athletics or acrobatics check, Crafty, as he just straight double fist tries to shove you.
okay. I've got advantage on athletics. 18.
That meets with his 18. You basically get into a brief, and you're like holding each other. He's like, kind of shoves you off for a moment and goes,
If you're quite done, what is it? So I can go bother my counselor.
Just walk through the door.
He looks.
He's standing in front of
Just
the door.
walk through the
I can
door.
make a new one.
I don't want to invoke that right now.
He stares at the Lupine,
Actually-
completely unintimidated by him, and says, "Please let your delegation know we are aware of a plot against him." And I stare deep into Gristlefang's eyes, very aware of things that are going on. And you just hear the the thud of like some semi-precious stone hitting the wood as like the sword is like just hanging anime style slammed into the wood, ready to go up at a moment's notice.
So bad for the blade.
Not for that blade.
If it wasn't magical.
He growls and goes,
A plot. How very illuminating.
And the sword glows.
he kind of knocks on the door, and you hear, I'm not to be disturbed, Gristlefang. He goes,
You're gonna want to hear this.
the door opens inwards as you see, kind of looking around in like a coat, like made of this like deep.
Does he have
fur.
like a nightcap on with a little tassel?
Yeah, he kind of looks out and goes, "What is it?" And you see he's holding a wooden bowl. And it's got like some porridge in it. He just looks out. And Gristlefang goes,
Apparently, there's a plot against your life, Proudhew.
so he goes,
Really? This is what I'm being bothered with tonight?
I turn to Gristlefang and say, "I didn't say it was a plot against his life."
he kind of just. As you see he pats Gristlefang on the arm and goes, "Why don't you take a walk? I'll handle this." And he goes,
Just not,
like stares at you, begins wandering off.
not a too enthusiastic.
As he
walk.
mutters under his breath,
Why traditional ways are to be kept.
he starts moving away. As you see,
Such as
you
hospitality.
see Javen kind of goes,
You'll forgive him. He's
having trouble with this sort of affair.
Mm.
You join me a moment.
And he
Yes.
walks into his room. Do you guys follow?
Yeah, and I'm like, yes, I can understand having problems of that kind can lead you to, being out of sorts and grumpy when
As you enter the room, he kind of closes the door behind him and kind of leans on the wall and takes a scoop and goes, "This is all a very terribly sticky mess, but unfortunately, Gristlefang is prone to not understanding exactly what he needs to do, which is keep me safe." Now, and he puts the bowl.
I have alertness feat, just for the record.
Yeah. as he puts the bowl down, kind of looks out and goes,
But traditionalists in their ways, I told him 1,000 times, just take the bloody silverware. But no, never to use the moon metal. Always Gristlefang with his deeply rooted and completely unnecessary ways. And now I have to deal with this.
and he blinks. And as he opens his eyes, they are just jet black. And you watch as his form like erupts forwards, black smoke leaking
Well,
from his body. And
Here we
Favorite
go!
Proudhewer in this small 20 by 20 room with the both of you begins to leak smoke. Your alertness feed starts going off as you see his form immediately
pause.
rises. Yep.
Yeah.
Suspend.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. So
As you
it's
pause,
all for-
you see he is rising up, and his form
that a
has
minute?
become pitch black and just leaking black smoke, and his eyes have gone from black to this dull, piercing
he's
red.
half
and
trans-
he's just
He's half transforming, so I'll blow my reaction to use my first level chronomancer ability to suspend to freeze time while this is happening. So he's like, right, shattered glass everywhere. You hear the chime of time. My eyes flip over
Ding.
to like the cog, ding, goes off.
yes.
And the only target I'm selecting is you.
right.
So because you don't know what's
False.
going on,
It's-
your alertness
mean,
isn't kicked in yet.
I'm just like,
Well, no, because I'm assuming this description is happening at such an instant
Yeah.
speed that if you don't have I'm getting this because of an alert,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just
I also
Yeah,
have
your
feral
alert
instinct.
is why you are able to suspend. You're like,
Yeah,
"Ugh."
that's right.
so
You can't be surprised.
Well, I've also got feral instinct, so I'm also unable to be surprised.
Oh, there you go then.
Surprised.
if you rage first, yes.
okay. So hold on. So I've suspended time.
Yeah.
So we can only have a conversation for a minute. Tell me when you want us to start.
Yeah.
He'll let us know when our time is up.
Now,
and I can't use this time
You
to
can't do
anything
anything but talk to me.
speak.
go ahead.
I'm using this ability to let you know that we have discovered where the werewolf is. To our companions.
I'm picking up on this.
Understood.
He just looks over.
News. This is news.
News. The problem is, I think we're a little ill-equipped with just the two of us.
Hey,
So
Silver, have a knife.
we need to get the hell
Get
out
a
of
silver
here.
butter knife.
And I've a sneaking
No,
suspicion.
it's a silver steak knife.
Who are you talking to? We're running out of time.
Okay.
30 seconds.
How would you like to handle this?
Do you want to run or do you want to fight?
Run. That's not in my vocabulary.
Pardon?
That is not in my vocabulary.
Okay, so you don't want me to break through and we just run through the hole.
If you want to get, we could use an escape route just in case. I
Okay.
assume he'll try
10.
to escape.
9,
Okay.
8,
I'm like
7,
A warrior
fight.
does not retreat. Or a warrior does not flee, they retreat.
3, 2,
Reposition.
1.
Reposition.
all right.
Okay,
Better
so continue with your description.
The body elongates.
Suspend.
Suspend again.
And weirdly, you see as it rises, the arms kind of fall away, the legs too, before he's just a roiling mound of shadow.
Yeah, that's not good.
But the face gets bigger and bigger and bigger to where
Shadow
it is
wolf?
just a shadowy, undulating wolf face with these burning eyes. It just comes onto a mound of shadows where it's just a set of ogre-sized jaws leaking shadow.
My, what big teeth you have.
As it opens its mouth, the teeth almost like they're made of like goo. They sort of connect to each other by a strand that just
Ew.
starts to snap as it opens its mouth.
Dormammu, we've come to bargain.
It allows this horrific howl as the jaws of Nimberos takes form as it looks and echoing in this just telepathic, like burning voice in your minds. You hear,
He promised me everything. The echo of Zayn will give me everything.
I need everybody to roll initiative, please.
Okay.
I suppose that includes us just for ease of.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, sounds to me like there's also combat happening.
You are
I know,
both not
I'm doing it.
surprised
Yeah, we're going
because you
down.
can't be and you're going to rage. So,
Yep.
Alrighty.
Well,
It occurs to me that there appears to be combat beneath us. Perhaps we should investigate,
I
or should we go and alert the others?
No, I don't think
Perhaps we
so.
should scream.
learn more first before bringing the
Very
others in
well.
there.
oh,
They have
orb
other jobs to
acceleration.
do.
The Beastmaster is powerful, but he cannot take on too much
I
on his
feel
own.
if we are able to assist and grab Vocal Raxus, then perhaps we can bring him back to solidify whatever might be a problem.
I completely
Yes.
agree. And also,
25 to 20.
Let's Deus Ex Machina.
compliment you on the first
Oh, so
fact
sorry
that
to
you actually
interrupt.
acknowledge your own strength.
How dare the GM
willing to
interrupt
help.
the players?
Oh. Anybody get 25 to 20?
Ah,
20 to 15.
ah, ah.
15.
15.
Phew.
Okay.
Oh, wait, that's the highest?
Wow, okay.
Orb acceleration really
With
changing the
advantage.
fight.
Okay then.
Not doing it very well.
15 to 10.
14.
I'll take 10.
Oh.
Oh,
Wait.
dear.
Okay. Anyone lower than 10? Yeah. No, this is fine. Everything's fine.
Don't
Yep.
you have a learn?
What'd you get?
9.
9 and
Wow!
9 and 8.
Well, I
This
lose
is the
5.
first for low holds.
I rolled a 3.
First up is the Jaws of Nimbros.
Shocking.
Surprise.
It, with that horrific howl and that telepathic utterance of the Echo of Zayn promised me everything. It rockets forward and is going to make a multi-attack. As it moves forward, you see, as soon as it starts to move, the jaws move up, and you watch as too many different kinds of paws and legs go, and it begins to run. It's going to make 1 bite attack and 2 claw attacks.
I'm getting
On.
a lot of
Who's he hitting?
It's going to go for you first.
For the
That
bite-
is a.
For the bite attack, my living cloak comes up and gives it disadvantage.
That's good because that was a 27.
I mean, with that kind of roll, we probably see
Dirty 20.
that hits.
Okay.
It's always worth the try.
Mm-hmm.
You are very lucky. You're excessively lucky. The
That
bite
is
comes
low
in-
hold.
The bite only comes in at 10 psychic
That
damage.
seems
I
very
believe
low.
you're familiar with this phrase. Chump change.
10 psychic damage.
Oh, that's halved.
Yes. Have to 5 as your sword pulses, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Psychic damage is bad for me.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the psionicist
Yep.
does
So
like
we're in-
psychic damage.
So we're in the
Constitution
right
saving.
place.
It's
then.
correct.
I'm going to invoke my selective destiny to become proficient in it. Adding 4, giving me a 16.
16. As the jaws sink into you, you feel something ricochet through your body, but you
Would a
Push
12
off a
have failed?
maybe its claws then start lashing out. It's going to be 1 against you.
Right.
You
That's
can take
right.
it.
Piss off the nerd.
Dirty 20,
I will kill you.
Dirty 20 hits.
and then another claw against you. 28.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's the thing about boss monsters. They usually
You
hit.
take 16 points of
Yeah.
psychic damage,
16?
and you take 18 points of psychic damage reduced
Nine,
to 9.
Rage
Like
ain't
this
gonna help
production
that.
stuff.
All right. Next up is Solaris. What you all see as you begin heading, we'll say you guys are heading.
Yeah, we're all heading
downstairs.
down. Yeah.
You see, after like basically racing down, you can hear the sound of pitched combat. You see a massive fire elemental that its flames are beginning to darken and dim as it is just tossing fire at what looks to be a gargantuan draconic form, half in and out of phase with reality, slipping in and out. It itself taking a lot of damage, but its face, instead of a face, there is just this swirling cog of dark jet black energy that is swirling through it as it is moving across, flickering in and out of existence. This massive creature, which you immediately
I was
recognize.
gonna say, yeah, we can assume that's the
About to
villain.
say,
Uh,
yeah.
This is what's known as an elder form echo.
Oh, beautiful.
It is it is a veil shade from the emotions that the elder dragons had when they first created the world. This one seems to be screeching and roaring. It continually growing in size and then shrinking and then growing in size as it roars and shrinking again, as it seems to be embodying the power of the jet dragon Zayt.
Right.
Well, it looks like Vokoraxis in the form of fire elemental is getting his ass kicked by this gigantic
Shall
dragon.
we assist?
I think we shall, and I turn.
You are surrounded by also a cavern of what looks to be a lot of red
Maroots.
crystal.
Careful with your spells.
A lot of Redicas down here.
Oh.
That can be very good or very bad.
I know. We're going to forget our right now. What's going to happen? As I turn around and put my hand on you
Very good.
and going to cast haste on you.
Okay,
Now I'm going to see what happens when I do so.
go ahead, roll me a d10, please.
I know. He might die.
As
I
you
might
are
die, he
in a
overheard.
very powerfully mana surplus area.
I know. And that's a 9.
9. We're going to say that you watch as the crystals all react and blast energy into the Elder Form Echo as it starts to flicker in and out of phase. It's going to have disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes within the next hour,
Excellent.
as your magic has ricocheted into it.
By the way, see invisibility does not seem to be concentration, so that is still going on for me at the moment.
It's letting you see this thing more clearly. It looks like a ghostly black dragon with cogs for a face, and then you can see temporal energy is just ricocheting within it.
That's, however, all I do. How far roughly would I be away from it at the moment?
About 30 feet.
30 feet. I'm going to within 20 feet from it.
Okay. Next is Crafty. Would you like to rage to not be surprised?
Oh yeah.
So you
I've
rage.
done it
What
already.
does your rage look like as a dreadnought?
Basically, you're seeing a red nimbus about me.
You do
like-
that. Can you do that? Oh, what's his name? Witcher guy at Superman.
Kill
Henry
Bill?
Cavill?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
You do that Henry Cavill, like where you like cocks his fist, where he's
Yeah.
just like that.
And here's gun number 1. Here's gun 2. And I'm looking at where the werewolf nasty nightmare of Proaxis is. Is it against a wall?
The door, I think.
It moved forward from the door to come to you guys.
Yeah, you're in, like,
so
a 20
It's
by
about
20
5
area,
feet
right?
from the wall of the door.
Okay, so all right. In that case, my first attack is going to be tackling him and trying to burst into the tunnel so that he's in sight of everybody else that is moving about.
Can you tackle something like that?
You can certainly try.
I guess we can find out.
Wow. I'm
Are
Yeah.
you trying to like shove him out the door?
when I'm doing this, I knock people out of my way.
Oh, are you going to use Rampart of Momentum to try
Yes.
and... Okay, that is different. He's going to make a... This is going to suck. No, that is not a great strength save. That's like a 10. Okay, so you move forward. You knock into this creature with force. Are you just keep going and bust out the door?
Yep.
I'm not going to even roll. That thing does not have an average of 55 hit points. You watch as this radiant just kind of goes... It just explodes out the wall as this thing gets punted forward. And you watch It hits the wall, and you watch it phase through partially as it is now pushed into the wall, and it's now half in the wall, half out of the wall, going. You see its form is starting to crackle as it's been forced to occupy the same space as the wall. As its incorporeal movement kicks in, it's probably not going to like that on its turn when it gets force damage. But it's now stuck in the wall. You have busted out. A bunch of people go like look over and start screaming as this horrifying thing goes out the wall and starts snapping at people.
Tell that frickin' Shirka we found his cursed object.
Screams.
And then, now that is a bonus action, I believe. No.
Yes, that is a bonus action. That's just your bonus. That's just you moving and
Yeah.
shunting it out.
Now I'm going to take out my magic great axe. A free interaction first. No, I'm not going to worry about the silver right now. I take my great axe and I start wailing on him.
Okay.
I first of 2 attacks.
Do it.
That is a 26.
Hits.
Yeah. You like the high 20s.
And I get +3, so it's a +7 on my damage. D12.
Kick his ass, Seabass.
Insta kill.
19 damage.
Max
magical.
damage.
You carve into it. As you do, the mouth splits, and another mouth goes. And they all.
The thing.
Snap together. You are basically looking as you stare at it. By the way, you are looking at like the primal representation of the fear of being chased by something with jaws. Like that is effectively what this thing is taking the form of, like that primal fear of being chased by it, like.
And
a wolf.
it's now
I
suffering the
have
primal
faced-
effect of being a jawbreaker.
I have faced college professors giving my thesis and my doctoral thing, and I have stared them down. Being chased by that is nothing.
Fair enough.
Attack number 2.
Now, if it was the primal fear of going to school in your underpants, that
Yes.
would be a completely different story.
Turn around.
Yeah.
Second attack is a
Ouch.
critical fail.
Does your axe get like stuck in its jaw? You're just like, hold on.
Actually, with it being half embedded in the wall, it deflects just enough that it bites into the wall.
Well, I would imagine the whole wall just explodes.
At the end of your turn, the Zayan Elder Form Echo is going to use a legend. Oh, so going to use 3 legendary actions actually.
What? That's not good.
That's what we are.
Crafty, you and Lowhole
Oh, no, never
feel something burn across your minds, and you feel yourself being tugged, you feel like your stomach drop, as you hear in your minds,
This will not do. All the stars must fall together.
as it is going to mass plane shift all of you,
Oh, dang.
as you all are pulled and you are hurled through this horrifying realm
Not again.
of darkness. As you all appear, you all watch as Lowhole, Crafty, and a lump of shadow are slammed in various places across the room near the fire elemental as they just appear, as the thing rears up and brings them down, as the shadow rears up again and begins to screech and become this form of the jaws of Nimberos.
I just have this
as
vision of
You're now standing in front of this massive ethereal dragon.
chaos and a shadow flinging around Lowhole. It's like, whoa, 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 and you're just standing utterly still as everything around you.
You land on your feet like,
Yeah, I land and I'm like, this is something that you do regularly?
Next, it is Vokorax's turn, who is going to attempt.
You know, if he's got some bless spells or something that he wants to throw around.
No, that is not great, but that will, in fact, do.
What's like a really
Okay.
good druid buff
He is
spell?
going to cast
I've never made it past level 10
going
as a
to
druid.
cast a
I imagine he's much
firestorm.
more than that.
Firestorm.
I mean, that'll help.
As he does so, he changes back into his normal form. He looks haggard. As he looks up and goes,
How did you?
As these blasts of fire come burning up. Across the hound.
You're 16 in initiative?
Yeah, 15 volt.
15, sorry. And you're what?
8.
Oh,
8. Not bad.
I am 10.
10.
these
Okay.
three of you go one after the other.
All right, let's see how well you
Make
do.
a save for the
theory.
both of them.
Let's see if I feel like
Both
you might go again.
succeed. However, they both are going to take 60 fire, reduced
Heck
to
yeah.
30. As they're both incinerated with these blasts of flame, the echo kind of shifts its shoulders. As you can hear commotion coming down from down the stairs, the mouth kind of opening up again. Lockstep.
Yes. I am very grateful for the haste, by the way. That is going to be wonderful. I will, arms behind my back, of course, begin to cautiously approach the foe, examining it for any potential weaknesses that it might contain. And as I do so, a dagger will just sort of pop out of my bandolier, the green blade glowing brightly as it just, by itself, sails directly towards my enemy.
Go ahead and roll attack. As you fling this blade.
That's not so great. That's a 9.
Oh, that's definitely going to hit.
It sinks and reforms, looks at you, and you hear in your head,
Away from me.
and it just rises
Incredibly
up.
useful metal.
Like 6 paws come out as it begins to just rise up in this abomination of smoke and hound-like form.
Okay. As the dagger then returns back and shinks itself back in, the sword, my long sword, also glowing green just by itself, comes right out of my sheath and continues to swirl around my front as I approach within 5 feet of this creature. Oh, actually, sorry. And as I get within 10 feet of it, all 5 daggers on my bandolier just fly out and begin to swirl completely around me in a
Okay.
cloud of death. And I will need it to, it is going to, I think it just takes damage, actually. Yeah, it just takes damage.
What is this?
Okay.
As flurry of objects,
The principle?
my psionic,
Psionic
principle,
principle.
will be begin focusing.
And what does
on
that do for those who've not read the Psionics yet?
An area of chaotic telekinetic force manifests around me in a 10-foot radius, using at least 10 pounds of loose objects. Well, that would be my daggers. It deals 1d4 bludgeoning damage to any creature that enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there. And it says a turn, and it is now entering the area as I bring the area into it. And it's going to take 1 bludgeoning damage.
Oh,
Real effective.
However, the objects that it is being hit with are made of rennick. I will need a wither check, please.
That is a 12.
That is not enough.
What does Wither do?
It is now withered, meaning that the rennick anti-magic poison is seeping through its body,
The
so
cloud
that
starts glowing green in
any
places.
healing it receives is temporary HP and not actual healing. Any DCs that it has that it can inflict with any of its features is subtracted by 2.
Also can't heal, which is bad for the fact that it was going to start regenerating.
Yes.
And
Well, it
also
regenerates temporary. hit
also,
points.
because of
Got
that
10 hit points.
firestorm, I rolled on the table. You get your lowest level spell slot returned to you.
Technically, I don't have spell slots or go away points.
you get
Uh,
you get
So
the
you
you get the
you
converted
get,
number
You
back.
get the converted
number
augury
back.
points.
2
Returned
points.
to
2
you
points.
as this firestorm seems to again ricochet off of this intensely magical.
And
Excellent.
also, as I have withered a creature, I gain a runic charge
Oh.
as
Things begin to glow.
all of my weaponry begins to glow. And now that I am within 5 feet of it, I'm just continuing to keep my arms behind my back, just gaze at my sword as by itself it flings and swings down at my opponent.
Okay.
That's much better. It's a 21.
That will hit.
Very good. I shall roll my D8 for the long sword.
It's not looking good after the.
That is going to be
Firestorms.
8 slashing damage.
Okay.
And I am hasted.
You
So I shall do that again. That's a 20.
That hits.
Very good. That's a 6 slashing damage. again with a
Okay.
Renic weapon. So as I am high enough level, these count as magical strikes in terms of resistances and immunities.
They certainly do, and
Which includes,
this
by the way,
cloud is
my
getting cut off
psionic
slowly.
attack. I am not high enough level as psionicist for my psionic attacks to be magical, but I am high enough that all Renic-based attacks are magical.
Oh, yes.
So it still counts as magical damage.
Not suspicious at all.
Oh,
And I will continue to keep my arms behind my back as I continue to assess this creature for any potential weaknesses that it might have. I'm imagining that would actually be an action, so more for flavor than
So you
anything
just
else.
rock 2 pillars of power on it.
Indeed.
yeah.
Legendary action. Rokorax is going to spend 2 legendary actions, and he's just going to turn into a T-Rex. Because why not? As he just emerges of this gigantic thing, looks back, and in T-Rex form goes, "I'll hold off the dragon!" and starts running forward. Lowholt, you're up.
So paint me the picture here. He's fighting a dragon.
A ethereal black-looking like a
So there's two
chronomantic
creatures,
dragon with like
here.
a cog
Yeah.
face is standing there. This massive creature, and you can feel, especially from your familiarity of having encountered stuff like this before, there is a great amount of pure power exuding off of this veil shade, this elder form echo. It seems to be extraordinarily powerful, and it's embodying the likes of Zayn, the dragon of power.
Okay. And he's got the cloud of blades in front of this big.
Yeah, stay at least 10 feet away from me.
And the druid is waiting for her turn. You
I'm
have
at the bottom of
You
this
are, you
depth.
are next.
taken your turn. You are. What do I see you doing right
I'm
now?
about, well, I was 50 feet roughly away from that dragon form. You don't see me doing anything. I'm just standing there happily, but I did something to him.
Oh, I am cursed with opportunity.
Isn't that nice?
I have 1 bonus action and 3 possible things I can do. I could use my bonus action to bardically inspire you to take another turn.
If you do that, that thing is going to hate its existence.
Yes. I
He is
could use my bonus action.
I am
to-
hasted.
I could use my bonus action to accelerate myself with celerity with my channel divinity, which allows me to have the quickened condition, which is a half haste basically. This is more for the audience's sake. I could use Amberfang's artifact like power to give bless to all. And that's just the bonus actions. And then, of course, I can descend upon with attacks. How high is this? Is a big open space, right?
Yes, this is a domed cavern where there's like you're basically almost laying on Renica at this point. Like you have to like kind of walk carefully as you're basically just all over. It's basically imagine the inside of a geode. That's kind of the shape you're looking at in here. Ceiling is about 30 feet high.
All right. Well, I'm going to assume that this thing is not going to die now. So, for my action, I will summon Banquo. So I'll pull out this little jacinth-like figurine, citrine almost, and I will whisper to it, "Come to me, my friend. I need you now." And it will start to crack, and particles of dust will fall, and then it looks like the entire figurine, little Pegasus figurine, explodes into particles, but it kind of catches itself in midair, and then redacts back in. But when it does so, a ball of light bursts out, and I find myself mounted up onto this spectral, golden, glowing Pegasus for my action. And then for my move action is I will fly up to the center point between the dragon and it, so to separate myself from the party. And as a bonus action, then I will just reach into the veil, and you see my eyes kind of spin clockwise, and then I just twist time, and some of the refracted daggers around lockstep tend to like warp back and forth in this weird like pattern as I use my bardic inspiration to move him back in time using the College of Times. Bard's one of the inspirations he has, and I get to roll a d6, my bardic inspiration, and with that I will lower lockstep down on the initiative track by that amount, and if it crosses my threshold, he will be in the same round gain an action, but then will
And this is
permanently be there.
The wolf or the
This is me.
oh you okay.
Lockstep. by 2, which is great.
Brings me down to an 8.
8, and then you guys have to decide which one goes first.
Me.
So,
You.
so I will twist time. You see Lockstep's daggers kind of like reverse a few directions, and they kind of like split into 2, and then they reform. And when it reforms, you've gone back in time. You've gone forward in the future
Yeah.
to take your next action. But now you're permanently at 8.
Yes.
And with that, I end my turn.
Okay.
Nice and fast.
So now it would be either Risha or
Lockstep.
Yes.
depending on your dexterity.
Wait,
My dex is +2.
Oh, mine is +2. But I would like you.
Okay. They would like me to go first.
To
You go again.
I
as
go
you've been
again.
shunted through time.
Very good. Well, first I shall use a bonus action to put 4 charges into my blade, as lightning of green and black energy
The
arcs
manifestation
around
of
the
fear
sword.
in front of you
iOS.
suddenly looks more afraid.
Yes, iOS courses through it, and with that's my bonus action. And so then with my action, my hasted actions to start with, because might as well use that, I shall take a swing at it. Of course, hands still firmly held behind my back, just glaring at it as the blade swings down on
Just
its
to let
own.
you know that if we hadn't been shunted into this fight, I was going to do that to you, so you could hit it more with your axe.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see.
They're already quite injured.
Well, that's an 11. I'm guessing that's not going to do it. So I'm going to spend my I can't spend any more charges, but what I can do
That
is
does
I can use Fortune of the Many.
many.
It's a hobgoblin feature, which
Ooh.
allows me to increase my roll by the number of allies I can see within 30 feet of me.
That is all of them.
That's a +4.
Plus Volcaraxis?
Oh, plus Vocoraxis,
Yes.
which would be a +5.
So a 16.
That would be a 16 indeed.
16 just hits.
Thank you, Adam, for giving us your own inspirational help.
Very good. And
It's me.
so
I'm a T-Rex.
with that,
By the way, when I read out the video, every time you say Vocoraxis is doing something, I'm just going to cut my meme over top of me doing this. Okay.
that is going to
Should
be
you have
that is
to-
not going to be a whole lot of damage to start with. We're going to start with 4 slashing damage.
Ooh. Ooh.
No, that's still around there.
I know, it's very...
And the mana
9,
charges.
12, 13, 14, 15. So that's and 17 force damage from the Rennick charges
Not
being
looking
unleashed. And then I'm going to use Exhaustive Wound. And as it is withered, it automatically
Great.
fails.
It does, doesn't it? You get
Uh,
back a charge.
Meaning that I get back a charge, bring me back up to 2, and this creature now deals half damage with all melee attacks, and its speed is reduced by 10 until the end of its next turn.
That's on top of the 10 that I got on.
Instead of
no,
until its next turn, it actually is that until it's no longer withered.
Oh yes, right, because it is
Yes.
withered.
you're
yes,
you're
until it's
doing
no
that
longer
on the
withered.
dragon or on the where?
Doing the thing that I've always been attacking, which I think is
Okay.
the dragon.
The ghost.
the
The
thing
well,
that-
the jaws.
Yeah.
We're
the-
fighting the jaws.
Yeah.
That's the wolf. So the wolf is shuddering. You see this like coursing green cut on it that seems to be keeping pace. It's just like, what have you done? It's starting to like swirl backwards.
Then I'm going to pincer strike it by having one of the daggers whirling around me just sort of sidle off and slam into the side of the creature as the longsword comes out the other side and attacks it from that side as I use my
Haste is so good.
as I use my actual action to do 2 attacks.
Jeez.
That was all just a bonus action. Oh wait, no,
No, that was a
hasted
hasted action as well.
That was hasted action, bonus action, and reaction.
Right.
Haste is really good, buddy. That is going to be
Let's get the
a
dragon to dispel them.
20
Watch him
and
talk.
a 17, which I believe both hit.
Those both hit.
Hey, all I
Right.
have to do is just dispel the haste on him, and then he's quiet for like.
I mean, that'll
10
do it,
minutes.
yeah.
I would do it. But
So the dagger. Now, important to note, I had mentioned earlier that these daggers were modified. I had added some additional weight to the daggers to make them weigh an additional pound. These are 2-pound daggers.
They're pretty heavy
Because
daggers.
this dagger weighs 2 pounds and I'm using it as my pet rock, it deals 4d4 damage when hitting an enemy.
Just peppering this manifestation of utter
so that
terror with
is
every possible
4.
object.
Poor Druid's not even gonna have a chance. That didgeridoo.
That is 8 bludgeoning damage,
you're just going to druid craft a little tree
Okay.
just to.
followed
Brewing
by
coffee
Count as mana
for the,
for
for the,
It
for
does.
the victory
Okay, cool.
it's
drink.
a Rennick blade.
Gotcha.
You're seeing where I've done this. And then that's an additional 5 slashing damage. The longsword of Rennick slashes up the other side.
They must be so happy it came down to us.
And then the dagger then whirls back around to join its place and swirling around my body as the sword just kind of hovers once again in front of me.
All right. Risha, you're up.
It's not so tough.
So the dragon shadow and the jaws of death shadow are next to each other.
They are, I will say, due to the dragon's size, they are, yes, they're next to each other.
Within a 20-foot cube of each other.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. That's 4x4, absolutely.
I am going to cast Fairy Fire.
Very fun.
Okay.
On each object in the 20-foot cube, but creatures in the area must make dex saving throws. I'm a little worried they're going to be good at those because they're shadowy things, but it's only a
that is a
first level spell.
21.
That's
for
pretty
the,
good.
For the Jaws of Nimberos.
That
The
saves.
Elder Form Echo, however, it's aware of the flow, does activate, as it has advantage on dexterity saving throws, as it's always aware of the passage of time. And wow, it rolls like garbage. Does a 12.
It's not even a 12,
Not
it's
even
a
close.
12.
It glows. It lights up. For the entire chamber is now just a nightlight dragon going.
It's a nightlight dragon. And what happens when it fails?
So it is glowing in a soft green light. Any attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and it cannot benefit from being invisible, which I thought might
Shoot.
also.
No,
That will invisibility ain't gonna get much use now.
Ah,
we can all see it now, my friend.
This thing didn't know what hit it.
No.
This is
You should have stayed where you
super
are.
Now you
efficient
said-
adventurers.
You said you
Volcarax has
cast
been
it, so
fighting him
both
for a
of them
while
are in it?
now, so he's.
one saved though.
Yeah,
One
one
saved,
succeeded in a
okay.
save.
The
But
creature that's about
the
to die
big,
saved.
big bad is now glowing gentle green,
Well, it's the best one of the two.
That's a good one to hit, yeah.
and I have no bonus actions to use at this time. I am going to back 10 feet up the stairs.
As you try to back 10 feet up the stairs, you take a step and you watch as you go. And you ricochet back to where you were as it uses its reaction to chrono shift you, reducing your movement speed by 20. So I will say you back up to like the first step. And you were like, no, I walked like halfway up the stairs. You went, and you move forward again. As the dragon looks and goes, in your mind you hear,
And our horns go, "Durr."
that's chrono shift. It's 120 feet long.
That didgeridoo noise.
Okay, now finally it is the elder form of Zayn's turn. Who is very mad, glowing, and goes,
This creature, my blessing of power is wasted.
as you see it turns and goes,
I can do better. I swear it.
and it looks and goes,
Decidedly, you are weak.
as it rears up, and you watch the car begin to spin faster and faster and faster as you feel the veil itself begin to strip away and move closer to it as the T-Rex just kind of goes, "Oh," as it lifts.
shit.
And this torrent of distorting energy rips open both the material and ethereal plane in a 90-foot cone in front of it as it uses its temporal breath. So
That sounds great.
no one's in the ethereal plane right now, but it also affects the normal plane. I can only really get a few of you. You're up the stairs.
I'm flying high up,
You're
so
flying high up. I'm gonna say
I'm like right there.
I mean, I'm
you,
like 50 feet
you,
from
Yeah, I'm like
and
right
you,
there.
you
I'm
three
there.
need to all make
it's the reason
me
why I flew.
a charisma saving throw as reality itself
I'm great at
shatters
that.
around you.
You don't even get my thing 'cause I'm
And-
way up
Yeah,
in the
because
air.
you ran away.
Oh, brave Sir Robin.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, no.
No.
I think
what
everybody
did you
rolled
roll?
trash.
What did you roll?
No.
4.
That
2.
rolled from this.
Two.
That rolled from this.
Hey,
I have
in
total-
total,
I
they
don't
got
know.
an 8.
I have a total of 3 though.
Total of 3.
I
All right.
mean,
I am
who-
gonna shillelagh one of my staffs, by the way, the one that looks
Okay,
like a
yeah,
gnarled
absolutely.
tree.
Does
Well,
anyone get well, you know what, this is great. So 3 what'd you get, Lockstaff?
2.
You don't have any.
Okay. What about Risha? Oh, sorry, what about Crafty?
4.
Look,
4.
I have things I could
Alright.
do to
2,
improve
4,
that
3.
number,
Okay, cool.
2, 3,
but
4.
not
All 3
enough
of you
to matter.
2, 3 of you has.
all 3 of you take 54 points of psychic damage.
Oh,
Oh!
God, that's bad for me.
The
And
3.
you are delayed for 1 minute.
Oh no!
Okay, I'm hasted.
1 minute. Your haste
Delayed
did?
You are,
Does that
your
help?
speed is reduced by 10 feet. You can use either an action or a bonus action on your turn, not both.
Okay.
And if you can make multiple attacks, you make 1 less attack
Yeah,
per turn.
I mean, it's
as
not
you
great.
literally
but-
are like pulled back.
Walking.
over
Delayed against
time.
the Psionicist is really bad because you're all bonus action. dependent.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm going to need to make a focus save on this.
And I am pretty sure I'm not even going to be able to make that concentration save for my
54 would be 27.
I'm
DC 27 con save.
not going to be able to make that con save.
Aye.
So haste drops.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
Okay, good news. My daggers are still whirling around me.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
You're the one who's suffering the
Oh.
lethargy issue, right?
You know
Wait,
what,
did that breath hit the
I'll,
jaws? Does it matter?
It does.
go
However,
home.
you see
I
as it
think I'm done here.
distorts over it. Weirdly, nothing seems to happen to it.
That makes sense. I figured
it
it's logic.
cannot be delayed, and it seems to be immune to psychic damage.
Oh, it's good to know
Yeah.
it's can't be
Oh.
delayed.
Yeah,
and no
got
Like
that
a
one.
manifestation of the
So,
nightmare.
so cutting words isn't something I
Cursing
should be doing to
someone.
it. Yeah.
Cool, that's like, 3/4 of my abilities useless.
Nice.
Is this just the big bad wolf from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? Find out.
Pick
Holy.
it up.
Okay, I'm getting close to my state of preference being death.
Nice. There is a bright
It
side.
doesn't have anything else to do on its turn, so it will just
Oh no.
heartily laugh. Because it
Devin takes like 48 actions.
Oh wait,
does
actually,
one
it can
thing.
do this. Sure, it will cast a 6th level spiritual weapon as a bonus action. Behind
Question.
Up
Question.
in the- yeah.
Do I have reactions right now?
Yep.
Something from lethargy. Let me.
I don't remember if
give me a
lethargy
quick
removes
second
that.
here.
I think you're
Lethargy?
I
What's
think you-
lethargy?
The lethargy
the haste.
from haste.
Delayed?
Hey,
Oh.
Target can't move or take actions until after its next turn, not reactions.
What about,
so you
delayed?
Totally can.
What about
Delayed
delayed?
doesn't take away reactions.
No.
You
Delayed
get
doesn't
your
take away
reactions.
Very good. I know you don't.
You try to absorb it?
You
Yes.
see, as it literally just, you're trying to absorb it.
I am going to try and
Cool.
absorb
It's
it.
a 6th level.
That's fine. I got to roll for it.
It's a 6th level.
Yeah, I got to roll
spiritual
for it.
weapon.
I got to roll
You have
for
the
it.
capacity
Glad
for
I
this?
backed up.
For 6th level?
Weave Breakers
Yeah.
can absorb spells, but they have capacities.
Yeah, this will max me out actually if I can
So
get
this
it.
is a DC 16.
Yep.
What's
Sure.
your roll?
As behind you, you
it's not
start
that bad.
You start seeing a ethereal jet fang starts to form behind you.
I have a I have a
okay,
+2 to this.
so you need to roll 14?
That's right.
That's not the worst.
Okay.
that looks not convincing.
Well, so I rolled a 13, but you know what? I'm just gonna use my fortune of the many to increase that by 5.
Jet fang
Hey,
appears.
you get +7, the 6 plus thing.
And
His
you
bank
watch
goes there.
as the deep ethereal black sword raises up, and as it raises to its apex, it turns completely green and goes and
Now
cycles
I have
back
power.
as you gain 6 Rennick charges.
Bringing me up to my maximum.
Oh,
my
dang.
Do it again. Watch him go. "Ugh!"
That is its turn. It is now the Jaws of Nimbro. My God.
Now
This
he
fucking-
also
this-
he also got a -10 from my slashing feat, so I use -20.
These things are having a bad
God.
day.
Okay, so it just basically going. It can't really do much right now.
Can it
because
attack?
It
can
can.
attack, which it's going to try to just start.
Is it a melee attack?
Yeah.
It's gonna do half damage.
Yeah.
But
Is-
also,
is-
what about
is-
your
are you-
cloud of daggers?
Oh yeah, it's in my cloud of daggers. It just takes damage.
Just at the top of
Takes
its turn.
3 damage
Take that.
of Rennick daggers.
At the end of its turn, it gets to see if it's withered.
Heavy Rennick daggers.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. No. Who's delayed? You're delayed. You're
delayed.
delayed. You're delayed. Excellent.
Undelayed.
It looks at you, and it's going to.
Hi.
Still takes 3 damage of damage, please.
It still takes a damage.
Hello.
It is going to target a delayed creature within 60 feet of it. It's going to target you.
Hi, that's me.
Yes.
It might
This
have
save
beef.
is reduced by 2
Yes, it is.
because it's withered.
Yes, it is.
But I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh.
As it opens its mouth wide and you hear it start to inhale and you feel your temporal essence begin to drain out of you.
Is this an entropic?
Kind of. Sort of.
I presume you made the save looking at your face.
No, he didn't. He failed
It's
hardcore.
really good acting, I must say, Devin.
Yeah.
It's,
Devin's
this
acting.
isn't-
Smoke and
this isn't a
mirrors.
charm condition, is it?
No.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's called consume timeline.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Beautiful.
That sounds like,
Consume timeline.
sounds like something I want to happen.
Consume timeline.
Yeah, no. That's a 4.
That's a 4.
Not much I can do about it.
Excellent. You take 30 points of psychic damage.
I am down,
And because that brought you
and all my
to-
daggers just hit the
because
floor
that,
all around me.
because that brought you to 0. Well, here's the best part. You're no longer delayed.
Heyo.
Not because you hit 0, but because he ate your
It
time.
has consumed the delay.
However,
I'm still lethargic.
you are still lethargic.
What?
of the haste.
That's
that goes
mean.
away. However, because that
Surely
brought
it
you
goes
to 0, you just feel something really weird inside of you. This like,
Oh no.
and you
It's the
see
sound of my ghost trying to escape.
yes, literally, it's slamming against you, and your ghost cannot be removed. Weirdly, you are stable at 0,
Okay.
but you feel something strange inside
Yeah.
of you
Yeah. That sounds great.
as it goes.
It was
Just
nice
point out, my
knowing ya.
soul is not exactly in the best state.
Yeah,
That's
It
what
can
you're,
still be
is
cursed.
That's what you're getting at there.
it can
Okay.
still be cursed. So that is that there. It is going to then move forward and close in with you, but it cannot do anything else on its turn. It moves 10 feet and just stops. Solaris. It's
Hi.
not looking good. Oh, sorry. At the end of its turn, it's going to try to make a save. Natural 20. It's no longer withered. Thank goodness.
Kill this thing.
But the green goes back to this black roiling shadow, and you see the shadow is starting to try to reform.
So it does not look very happy, though.
It's starting. You can tell it is starting to regenerate,
And it's
but it won't regenerate until its next turn.
Okay.
still glowing a gentle green.
I thought it was the dragon.
The dragon.
Well,
That's the dragon.
Oh,
The dragon
sorry,
was
the
on
jaws
Jaw of
saved.
Yeah.
death.
Dang it.
Beautiful. And I only, because I'm delayed, I only have one action, right? I do only one attack.
Mhm.
Okay, and I know it is immune to psychic, so I'm just taking out my, scimitar, and I'm
Okay.
just going to try. It is a magic one. Well,
Okay,
it's
perfect.
actually because of one of my.
You know what it's not immune to?
I'm a greater temporal warrior, so all my
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
weapons
that'll do it.
are
Renic steel.
considered.
We have
That'll
discovered
do
that.
it.
We're in a chamber full of Renica.
Yeah, we are. Oh, I
There's
was,
so much Renica.
dude. I was gonna absorb it.
That's a natural one.
As you raise it up, it roars at you, and you have that primal fear of alone in the woods and hear something growl in the bushes that you can't see, and you like falter and miss. As this thing seems to be representing every single fear
Yeah,
of
I ever
Jaws in the
had.
night.
However, I'm going to use my split seconds
Ooh.
to give myself
split seconds do?
another action, so I can take a second action on my turn. Next turn, I only can do either action, bonus, action, or move. So I lose something on my next turn, but I have a
Correct.
full
You can use
action
split seconds. Yeah.
on this turn, which in this instance actually, how far away am I from him?
Yeah, you're within 5 feet.
Within 5 feet. And how far away are the steps? Can I see up the steps?
Yeah. The steps are maybe like 20 feet behind you. You can see Risha is about like 10
Okay,
feet
how
up the steps.
far away can I look up the steps?
5 feet.
Like how far
Yeah.
up? I would say you can look about like 40 feet up the steps.
40 feet up the step. Excellent. That should work then, right? Yeah, I'm going to put my hand on Mr. Lockstep, and I'm going to thunder step
Yeah.
40 feet up the stairs with him, and I need a con
Okay.
save of that creature.
This is going to be very interesting indeed. A con save. Okay.
Boom.
You have found something very interesting now.
You're not taking any of my
Um,
daggers with you, are you?
Constitution
No
saving
time.
He's not
throw.
touching those.
Or my sword, I guess. 'cause
It's
also just-
Renica. I'm not trying to touch that at all.
Constitution saving throw.
Don't you know these
are
guys? They
looking
don't
at a,
like Rennick.
I mean, you're.
That is a 17,
That's my DC.
but it
Oh.
still takes half. Here's an interesting part, though. As you fire off this thunder step, there's a burst,
Uh-huh.
a thunderous sound. Also, roll me a d10 because we're gonna figure,
Yeah.
as all the Renica starts to react, because that's a level 3 spell.
I mean, in a way, you're lucky I'm trying to save you with your Renica weapon, and normally would not even do that to somebody who carries Renica. A 3. Okay.
This is very hilarious. You are both delayed and quickened. This can actually happen at the same time because they technically don't cancel out, but it's actually bad. It's cool to have both. You become quickened for a minute as your timeline is you're slower in some ways and faster in the others. But also roll your damage for Thunderstep.
That was 12.
12. So it takes 6.
Yeah.
Weirdly. Then it also takes 12.
Okay.
As it's vulnerable to thunder, as this blast of sound, as this blast of sound goes off, you see its form ricochet from. Sorry, it doesn't take double. My apologies. It does take 6, but as it hits it, you watch the form that was starting to regenerate. All the shadows begin to ricochet, and the sound. As it hits it, it like squints and it roars as the shadows go inward a bit. As this sound, much like an alarm clock, much like the rooster crowing in the morn, to wake those who are trapped in nightmares, this cacophonous sound destabilizes it and it seems to stop regenerating. So right now, it's not going to regenerate on its next turn, and it's looking fairly bad. As it goes, John, snores. As you appear on the steps with Lockstep, like holding on to his shoulder.
In a nice
That was
3-person cone.
good.
Not like that room was so much better, to be honest.
I know.
Vocal Axis is going to go for a T-Rex bite and does in fact hit,
Hooray!
dealing a load of damage. Hold on, 9.
I'm delayed.
Does
quickly
24
can't-
Oh, cool. Does 24 damage to it, bites it, and just kind of goes through it as the thing just. As the T-Rex's jaws pull through ethereal nothing as he goes,
Right.
help!
Working
Uh,
on it.
Okay, so
The T-Rex bit the giant elder form Echo and would grapple it, but it cannot be grappled.
Oh, I see.
so
It's axe time.
yeah.
You should ask the Jaws a question.
I should do the Elder Dragon.
No, the
because
jaws are almost done.
I thought
Oh.
I thought it was the other way around.
No,
No.
the jaws of Nimbros is the wolf. The wolf is looking bad.
The one that rocked
Okay.
him.
The
alright.
dragon also is not looking great, but much better than the wolf.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to go after the one that was the weakest of the two. There's no way I can position anybody because everybody's buggered off and is nowhere near these for me to try and get it flanking. So it's a straight up. Now, it's advantage. No, that's on the elder thing, the fairy fire, so I don't get that.
You could recklessly
I
attack.
can reckless. I don't like the idea of being. Hopefully,
You'll
with-
kill it.
with reckless,
kill
I
it.
take it. Okay. Crit.
Reckless is good there.
Hey!
Goodness. All right.
And I've got
Deliver us.
with the
Deliver
barbarian,
us.
I get extra dice as well as the
You
crit.
absolutely do with your brutal critical. Go ahead and roll that critical hit there.
Okay.
This is not looking good for old Javen.
Good.
Javen Proudhewers.
Good.
Looking like he's got a
All right.
bad thing
I
forward.
softened him up for you.
Okay. So the way you the way
I kind of did.
you do crits, that it's yeah.
Roll 2 dice,
Okay.
and then add your brutal criticals on top
Roll
of that.
them dice.
So 4, 8, plus 4, 12,
Plus your brutal
plus the
foibles,
rage,
right?
14,
15.
15.
and then the brutal rage is another dice, isn't it?
Yep.
Get
Good.
15. And then you,
Plus 10, so it's 25.
How do you want to put this man out of his misery?
I'm putting him out of my misery. I go through, and as I start to hew through, you start to see it dissipate, and then it goes in a flash, leaving just behind a rather bad smell.
As you cut through, the shadows screech, peel away. And as they do, like there's this roil of shadows that begin to just peel off, and you hear a. And as they pull apart, you see Javen Proudhewer across the ground as the shadows dissipate and then like suck back into his fur, but he lays there unmoving as he reverts back to his lupine form.
you know what you have to do now. But
He
you
is
can't
currently
do-
making death saves, but is
I can't
is
do it.
out.
Yeah, not the strength you delay.
You see the
Yeah.
echo in all your minds. You just hear
Useless vessel. There are more. There will always be more.
as it begins to flex.
No, because you're next, bitch.
It's looking around. Lockstep.
Yeah.
Roll me a death save,
Ah.
please. With the
How does it
chunkus.
feel?
With
How
the
does it
chungus.
feel?
Natural
With the
20.
chunk.
Oh, that was so
Oh, almost a
Failed
20.
death save.
Oh.
Oh, actually, sorry. Technically speaking, it should have been low hold then you, but low hold
All right, so
because you're 8 now.
the dragon's like, there's always more.
Yes.
And behind it, you see like this like cog of time appear. Like right behind its cog face, another cog appears, and it looks like it's kind of shimmering like almost liquid glass. And there's like this little yellow speck that's floating, flying in. It's like that TriStar pictures thing. I'm just kind of coming
yeah.
in, and as I'm coming in, you see the wings kind of blare up. It hits the glass shatters, and when from the side, if the Pegasus were to hit the glass, when it hits the glass, it goes twice as fast as I use my channel divinity to celerity myself.
You're yourself.
So I give myself quicken
Quicken
condition, so I will get an extra attack on this, and I will fly right up to the dragon. Hopefully, it's already fairy fire, so I don't even need
Yep.
to flank it, and I'll just come right down on it. Attack number 1.
Nat 20.
Would you like to read?
Oh.
What is that?
Oh.
What did the Amber Fang dice just
I
give
think
me?
that's a nat 20.
That's a
Yeah.
nat 20.
Like a nat 20 to me.
So Amber Fang nat 20s with a smite. The second attack,
How much movement do you have on Banco? A hell of a lot.
he goes one. He if I dash, it's 120, but I'm not. But he's 60,
Oh.
so I'm just gonna.
Okay, he's
I
gonna
didn't say
use
it.
Chrono Shift to reduce it by 20.
I'll
You
still-
still reach him, but he does it in
I'm only
vain, like,
describing the
to
circle thing
ricochet
as
you back,
dramatic
yeah.
effect. Yeah. The second attack, I'm hitting on a 27,
That hits.
and the celerity attack is hitting on a 21.
Yeah, all of those hit.
All right. Give me a second, guys. I
A
gotta
lot of
I
dice.
gotta get some
Oh
dice.
boy.
So,
boy.
does this thing invoke
no,
any
I
other
couldn't do
specialty when it
so.
comes to its smite? Like it's not like a fiend or anything that gets an extra D8.
Are you using Smite?
Yeah.
This counts as a Veil Shade, and a Veil Shade is technically an undead.
Well, then I'll
So it
add
adds
this.
an extra D8.
I'm gonna add this Evil Dead 2 die to my Evil Dead 2 Blood die, to my Chronomancy die, to my Emerald Fang die, which are all dispel dice on 2 various campaigns.
Dispel this elder form from existence.
I get to roll this twice. It's the crit.
Oh, dang.
Let's roll that.
I
That
mean,
handful.
Oh man, 2, 2, 1,
Uh,
4. So 8, 9 plus. Oh, there we
better.
go. Oh yeah, that's way
Ah,
better.
right,
9, 9, 16, 23, 31, 39 radiant damage from the first smite. Plus, we'll take 39 radiant damage. Plus, it takes. Ooh, I get to roll 2s because of great weapon fighting. There we go. 19 and 5, 24 Amber Fang.
Holy cow.
And then the second attack,
Yeah.
we'll put a level 2 smite into it because I'm out of 3s at this stage. And it gets 8 Amber Fang 14 radiant. And the third attack
Uh-huh.
is delicious. It'll be 14 Amber Fang
Haha.
But don't eat the dice.
and 13 more radiant.
I just imagine just like hacking away at it. Just,
You
So I like that.
you slice at it 3 times. Each hit, it hissing in anger as Amberfang cuts through its hide. You see it flickers in places. As with the final hit,
Awesome.
driving it between the faces of the cogs of the clock
Was
face,
it dying?
it begins to shudder and shake as its entire form brilliantly lights up.
So can I just have
Yeah.
Banquo kind of disappear and me kind of do like the Zelda thrust
Yeah.
into its skull, and then when the light finishes, I'm just sitting there like super.
As you do that, in one final screech, it goes, "My power will infect," as it dissipates as you plummet. About
a slow clap.
as you dissipate Blanco, you said so. You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam into the ground.
no,
Ah!
he does that superhero. He does a superhero landing.
Superhero landing on your
his,
knee.
His knees.
Oh,
just
you're
go,
gonna feel it in your knee.
I do superhero landing, but I have a really high performance to make it look like it didn't hurt.
Vocal
But
Rex
in my head, I'm like,
transforms back.
And I just look and I said, I told you so.
I bleed a little
As
bit
he
more.
looks over all, you get a what does he have left?
I'll take a
you
healing
get
word.
Just before he
At
can
first
do that,
level.
I'm just going to show him up and actually do healing word on him.
Ah.
Raxus also
My man.
hits all of you with a mass cure wounds for a total of 12 each.
It's fine. I didn't need it.
You get
Oh,
off.
I
As he
needed it.
explains that he'd been locked
It's
down
only
here
four.
in combat with things
Dude,
most of the day.
you get the assist on that because it was your it was your Fairy Fire's critical
mean,
or
yeah.
advantages
That
that got me
helped.
the 20 on the second
Oh,
roll.
good.
Fairy Fire is
Yeah.
amazing.
actually.
As all of you come,
I got to roll 60-20
you
against
find,
that guy.
you find Grimmane, Rachel Grimmane, who with
Pick up all my
great effort,
daggers.
On my
great effort and a lot of
slowly in
smacking,
pain.
hits Javen a few times and literally rips the curse out of him. Javen is arrested by the contingent of lupines. Gristlesnarl actually.
Gristlefang?
Gristlesnarl. Gristlefang. I was thinking of Grimmsnarl from Pokemon. My God. Gristlefang was in fact just a traditionalist and was trying to find a way to confront his master on this terrible business. Is arrested as well, but is in fact not a werewolf at all. Was just a really grumpy guy. And
He's
didn't
an aware.
like silverware. He was a traditionalist.
He's an aware.
He's a werewolf.
He's on a werewolf.
It is found out that this curse was bestowed by this echo, which was a rare form of lycanthropy from the veil itself called Nimberosi lycanthropy, which literally transforms you into the manifestation of the fear of being hunted, and you become this hunter shadowed wolf. You are all paid over 1,200 gold for your services. Seeing as a new high counselor needs to be named quite quickly, the rest of the lupine contingent profusely apologizes to the Ursine. It's found out that this was incited all by Javen as a way to create more war and therefore more power to be tested to spread more of this curse. Everything is laid out well within the coalition.
Hey, as Gristlefang is walking by all shackled up, I'm gonna do like the classic like shoulder bump, and then when he looks at me, and when he looks at me, I'm just gonna go.
Growls. He goes, "I'm coming for you," and he's like tugged away.
And I won't even look back, but I'll be like, I look forward to it.
And as a little epilogue to end us all out here, as you all are leaving, sacks of gold filled, and you're heading out. As you all over the next few days begin to go to your various locales. Lockstep.
Oh no!
Uh-huh.
It's canon.
Uh-huh.
Peromia. It's quite a bright moon
Yeah.
this night.
Yeah. Huh.
And as you look up to it, its glow begins to darken as you almost seem to view
a lattice work of strange ethereal energy flowing to and fro in front of it, away from it. As the veil itself begins to reflect its light, and a deep, burning sensation burgeons within you as you hear whispering in your mind the sickly phrase,
How would you like even power?
and that is where we shall end off for tonight, as the new Nimberosi werewolf is born.
Well, hey, you know.
Had to
Thank
get
you,
within
everyone, for hanging in with us.
Revenge!
Thank you, everyone, for hanging in with us. I hope you all had a wonderful time. I hope everyone here at the table had a lovely time in this
Oh, yeah.
interesting module, A Wolf Amongst Wolves.
Oh my God.
Nice.
And I believe that that concludes our little broadcast
Yes.
for this afternoon. Thank you, all of you out there, for your continued support of the Imaria Pillars of Power Kickstarter. You're all
Yep.
wonderful, and we love you very, very much. Any other closing statements there from anybody?
Thank you for the assist. That was incredible. That assist changed the whole outcome of the fight. in
I'm a
great
bit sad
way.
it worked so well because I was going to use one of my elemental companion powers.
Yes.
Oh, what were you gonna do?
My Triceratops was going to be unleashed, and it was going to inflict 2d6 thunder damage.
Oh my God.
That was a thing. Yeah, no, like that was a lucky. That was a very, very lucky,
It was
lucky
like
choice in thunder.
Everything else is psychic, so might as well try
The only thing that
else.
stops its regeneration is thunder.
Oh wow, lucky.
So
Loud,
Little
loud
mini-
noise.
Little
Excuse
mini
me.
Triceratops did not get
Can
the
it check
charge.
And being withered.
And being withered. I didn't count on that.
I mean,
But-
I was just happy that for a change my ethereal.
I mean,
Vision
if
work.
I hadn't gone down, I was sitting at 8 charges. It was going to be a
Oh, God.
reckoning.
Right.
I'm just happy that I managed to plow him into the wall.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was great.
Yeah.
And then not be
Oh.
moved.
I'm happy I
Alright.
absorbed a spell. That was cool.
Yeah, it was,
Big
yeah,
one.
it was like we got to see a whole
I got
bunch
to
of.
see
We
all
didn't get
kinds
to
of-
see your Dreamwalker.
I didn't get to do a whole lot of.
No, I did not. I was going close to it, but then it was not enough.
Hey, I could have.
I'm-
I
Yeah.
could have just stabbed you.
You could have just had me.
I look.
So
I'm really
helpful.
glad you got to use split seconds. That's such a great
I love
power.
split seconds.
It's such a
too.
great
It's such
power.
I see a
really
lot
good
of
one.
different things that are becoming.
We saw suspend. We saw split seconds. I didn't chrono shift myself, or
Yeah, I had a
I-
couple other
I used haste.
principles that
I used my
I was getting ready to bring up, but
fairy fire kicked ass.
It's just such a good
That
spell.
was
Just
so
a
good.
classic.
And yeah, Dreadnought was great. It was fun. He's a different type of barbarian, you know.
The thing is,
Very
I actually
much.
didn't know exactly what your class was. I was like, haste on him, is that the right choice?
Yeah.
Let's just go with it.
yeah, no, that's
It's never
absolutely
a,
a
bad
good
choice.
move.
Yeah. Well,
And haste stacks with quicken. So
Just
if
giving me more things that I can do is
I
always
kind
going
of
to be
assumed
the
it
way
was
to
going
go,
to be,
yeah.
so I was like, you know what?
Yeah, if I managed to get a little bit more, I was going to throw up kinetic blow and just start dishing out the damage like crazy.
Yeah, one of the interesting things with Dreadnought is at the level 3, they managed to keep their intelligence and wisdom. So, like, you could actually double class it with a magic.
is that what the Dreadnought gets at? What level do they get the Bastion of Thought?
10.
10. So at 10,
Yeah.
you get proficiency in when you're raging, you become proficient.
Oh no, wait, that's
No,
sorry.
no,
That,
no.
that's 6. My apologies. That's
Was it
6.
6? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had 6. The Dreadnought
That's
gets.
10 is Citadel of Hope. So it's like dead?
Uh,
I don't
of the
think
Citadel
so.
of Health. Yeah, where it's really, really hard to kill you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. We're
Thank you
going
so
to sign off now. So
Take care,
we'll
everybody.
take care.
Laters.
Have a good rest of your weekend.
Oh, no,
Oh,
that
good.
way. Take care.
That's the kind of- I can live.